It's 6 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: nuisance Bedfordshire bikers causing delays to major road project. Wreckage washed up on Indian Ocean Island, could be from missing plane. And Milton Keynes Hospital reassuring pregnant women.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Police have launched a crackdown on nuisance motorbikes in nearby Houghton Regis, but due to safety reasons, workers on the site have to down tools every time bikers come onto the land. More from Ollie Bayliss.
The Woodside Link will connect Houghton Regis and the industrial estates in Dunstable to a new M1 junction 11A. The whole project is expected to cost just over £38 million and should be finished by spring 2017. However, off-road bikers and dog walkers have been forcing access onto the site, causing workers to switch off machinery until the trespassers can be removed. They tell us this happens on an almost daily basis, and on occasion the police have had to be called out.
Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on the Indian Ocean island of Reunion is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. The plane travelling from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing, with 239 people on board, vanished without trace in March last year. Police have described motorists who filmed the aftermath of yesterday morning's fatal crash on the M1 near Milton Keynes as disrespectful. A 35-year-old woman from Bedford was killed in a collision involving 4 cars and an HGV on the northbound carriageway just before 8 a.m. A 55-year-old man from Warwickshire has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014. Jonathan and Kirsty Stansfield lost their son George, but only found out 6 months later that it was down to hospital mistakes, not natural causes. More from Anna Todd.
For 6 months, the couple thought George died of natural causes until a hospital report revealed 8 different concerns about the labour. George was actually one of 5 babies who died at the hospital between 2013 and 2014. An independent external review identified failures in care in all cases. The hospital says every recommendation has been acted on, including new monitoring equipment, rapid escalation of care and a fresh eyes review for every labour.
Migrants have made fresh attempts to reach Britain from Calais overnight in spite of new security measures announced yesterday. Large groups have been heading towards the Channel Tunnel terminal for a 3rd night running. The government has temporarily relaxed rules, so lorry drivers caught up in delays can work for longer. They will be limited to driving 11 hours a day rather than 9 hours. Video images of people who use a hitch in alleyway as a toilet will be shown in public in order to name and shame offenders. Cameras have been installed in West Alley in the town centre. Hertfordshire Police say anyone caught will also be issued with a fine of up to £60. In sport, England's cricketers will resume on 133 for 3 this morning on day 2 of the 3rd Ashes Test at Edgbaston. That's just 3 behind Australia after bowling out the tourists for just 136 yesterday. The weather mostly dry and sunny, but scattered showers could develop this afternoon. A maximum temperature 18 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
What fell off then?
That was my foot kicking something under the table.
What are you kicking, mate? Just calm down. Are you angry about the story about people being arrested for having a pee in an alleyway?
No, it's a cupboard door. I think it's just fallen open.
There's no cupboard door under there, you
There is a lot of
lunatic.
wires under there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well,
Don't touch them.
this is falling off. Look, you know. And this wasn't me. Someone has done this and tried to fix it with sellotape. I am holding a piece of the studio in my hands. Yeah. Fun times. Okay. Is that going to play? Yes, there. Oh, my computer's... Oh. There we go. Thank you, Simon.
Cause the other boys are queuing up behind us. A hand over my mouth, a hand over the window. Well, if I remain passive and you just want to cuddle, then we should be okay and we won't get in a muddle. We're seeing other people, at least that's what we say we're doing. So how are you feeling? I don't think you could be dealing with the situation at the working week through the eyes of the gigolo. Whoa, whoa. Kissing your elbow, you're kissing your reflection, and you can't understand why all the other boys are going for the new, tall, elegant, rich kid. You can bet it is a bitch kid, but if they don't see the quality, then it is apparent that you're gonna have to change, or you're gonna have to go with girls. You'd be better off, at least they know where to put in. We lay on the bed there, kissing just for practice. Could it please be objective? Cause the other boys are queuing up behind. There's a hand over my mouth, a hand over the window. Well, if I remain passive and you just want to go, then we should be okay and we won't get in the muddle. We're seeing other people, at least is what we say we're doing. Seeing other people, at least is what we say we're doing. Seeing other people, at least that's what we say we're doing.
Guys, yes. How could you not like Belle and Sebastian, you slackers? Kelly, great to have you back.
Thanks, Claire.
There we go. Morning, guys. Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. We'll come up with something to... I know what we're going to talk about later on. Hunting is big news again. There are 2 hunting stories, Shags. 2 hunting stories. Have you seen the 2 hunting stories? Forget the fella that shot Colin the lion, the horny lion.
Yeah.
What are the 2 other hunting stories?
I have no clue. I haven't seen any. I've lived in a news vacuum.
Jeez, are you... Okay, well then we'll go to Plan B. He's not here, the rap artist, but Kelly, you're in many ways you're my little C. I mean, you know, that wasn't intended that way, but it works.
Yeah.
It works on both levels. Both levels very, very low, but it works.
Yeah.
What are the 2 hunting stories in the newspapers today? Forget the fact that Colin was shot yesterday. There's 2 other hunting...
Do you mean Cecil?
I don't know. How quickly we forget. He's a flipping lion. What do you give a lion a name for?
To call it.
Monjaro!
Bless you.
Thank you. What are the 2 hunting stories in the... there are 2 hunting stories. One gets significantly more coverage than t'other.
I don't know.
OK, try saying don't know.
Give us a clue.
There's that and there's that.
Oh, that's rude.
And there's that.
Oh, that's sexy.
Well, thank you very much indeed. We'll discuss the hunting stories later on.
Okay.
There are 2 hunting stories in the papers. One gets loads of coverage.
Yeah.
One gets tiny coverage that you can't see it. And I think we've got our priorities completely screwy. Skewy? Skew-whiff.
Look forward to it.
Off-road bikers are creating more problems for Dunstable. This time by disrupting construction of a new bypass around the town. Flippin' heck. Builders on the new Woodside Link Road say they're being constantly interrupted and have to down tools. I bet they hate it. Each time the bikers force their way onto the land whilst they have to wait for the police. Well, Ben Nye is our naughty biking correspondent. The work, how's it being disrupted, Benjamin?
Well, workers have told us that on an almost daily basis they're having issues with these off-road bikers, as well as dog walkers, actually, who are entering the site. Now, for health and safety reasons, they say they have to down tools, switch off all the machinery every time this happens. Then they have to call the site foreman to report the incident each time. Now, on most occasions, trespassers, leave when they're asked to, normally the dog walkers. However, it's the off-road bikers that they're having problems with, and that's when they have to call the police. All of this causes delay to the work being carried out on the site, obviously.
Oh,
and actually,
Jesus, makes me sick!
And everything is pretty much on schedule at the minute, but obviously the council are quite keen to stress that it won't cost any more because they're paying for the job regardless.
Okay. Well, tell me what this road is for, because I just don't really hear things.
The Woodside Link will connect Houghton Regis and the industrial estates in Dunstable to a new M1 junction. They're creating junction 11A.
Now, that's annoying they're calling it junction 11A. They should bump all of the numbers up one.
Well, I
So
measured-
11 becomes 12, 12 becomes 13, 13 becomes 14,
But with the
14
M1
becomes 15.
But the M1's so long.
22 becomes 23.
Yeah. But won't that confuse
27
everyone?
becomes 28.
Yeah. Maybe. I'll put that to him.
Okay.
I'll put that to him. But
40 becomes 41. I'm just thinking off the top of my head, but that's how I play it.
is there a junction 40?
The M1 goes up to about 58.
Does it?
Yes.
Oh, right.
Could you
Never
please
been
get
up
on
that
with the
far.
story, Ben?
Sorry,
what is this all about?
So people familiar with Dunstable will know that the trouble with the M1 is any trouble on that, it means all the people try and get around it. They go to Dunstable using the A5 and it brings it to a standstill. So the idea is that this will alleviate the pressure on Dunstable and move some of the traffic elsewhere.
How might this affect the project?
Well, at this early stage, it's not affecting it too badly. They're still on schedule. However, the completion date of around spring 2017 is key.
Oh, that's
Central
like
Bedfordshire.
forever away.
Yeah, but Central Bedfordshire Council have been so keen for this. They've been waiting for years for this to be given the go-ahead. So any delays they don't want to see.
52 becomes 53.
Yeah.
2 becomes 1. Yeah, you like that? You like this? Bulla, stay. BBC Three Counties Radio. Home of the hits. But what was the year?
These days are wasting away. The kind I'd rather say. Don't go. Stay. Don't go. I hope it don't rain. The sky's laughing again. Don't go. Stay this time. Don't go. Just stay this time. I know I gotta move with the times for you to be mine, for you to be mine.
Have some of that. Have it large. I'm sorry, sir, we do not accept returns here. Jeez. Upbeat at the end? I haven't heard that for years. Right. Thanks, Bernard.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M40 towards London, there's been an accident at junction 4 for High Wycombe, so it's blocking a lane just a few yards before junction 4 for the exit there, so it's causing the traffic to be very slow. On the A404 nearby in High Wycombe, that's looking very quiet, but there are roadworks there at Wordsworth Road, which could cause delays later on. And in Hertford on Ware Road, there's temporary traffic lights there at Chadwell, which could cause some delays too. On the trains, the 6:34 service from Bedford to Sutton is delayed. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. There we are. 6:17. It's Thursday, flippin' heck. Thursday, the 30th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on an Indian Ocean island is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. A Milton Keynes hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months.
Every weekday morning.
One partially closed and the others didn't operate at all.
I have contacted other companies who do it professionally, and they said it should have been anchored down.
The JVS Show.
It was looked over by the garage and they told me do not move the vehicle anywhere. It's a complete death trap.
The JVS Show fights for your rights and tackles your consumer problems.
I'm getting nowhere. I've tried on numerous occasions to talk to the manager of this company.
If you need our help, email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk.
So they said, we're going to contact the customer, we're going to have a chat, and we're going to make a gesture to that customer.
And we could do the same for you.
Without your programme, I don't know what you'd do in the morning.
The JVS Show, weekdays from 9 on BBC Three Counties Radio. This is Iain Lee.
All right. On BBC Three Counties Radio.
Get in there. Geezer, good morning. There's a lot we need to talk about, Justin.
Yeah.
First things first. Little pen update coming up later on. Don't worry about that, guys. We got the Q&A, the pre-scripted Q&A from the trustees, and let's just say they've engaged a PR company from Soho, and I'm guessing they said to the PR company, can you make us look completely soulless and cold, please? Because that's what's happening. And by the way, that PR company, there is a national news outlet sniffing around the story, partly because of your press release last week. Justin, forget the bloke who shot Steve the Lion, right? Forget that story.
Cecil.
Is that the name of the fella?
No, Cecil the Lion.
OK, how quickly we forget. Would you have a minute's silence for him or something? He's a flippin' lion.
He's a lion which was murdered by somebody who thought that was fun. That, to me, is outrageous.
Well, then you're going to like what I got for you. By like, I mean the opposite, which is hate. There's 2 hunting stories in the papers today. 2 hunting stories in the Daily Mirror today. You aware of what these stories are?
I think one of them is an investigation they've done into further hunting, not Americans this time, but British people.
They're hunting furthers?
Yeah. No. Apparently, I saw some pictures last night on a paper review of Britons that were going abroad, a bit like the American dentist, and they were killing animals. This time, it was a picture of a zebra.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of them.
That's one of the stories. Is loads of rich people go and pay to hunt animals. We know that happens. It's not a scandal. It happens.
Yeah, but it's wrong.
Right. Well, it may be, but it's not a scandal, it's not illegal, but it happens. That gets the front page and it gets a big spread in the paper.
Yeah.
You go to page 21 of the Daily Mirror. Does the name Minky mean anything to you?
No, tell me more.
Does the name Minky mean anything to you, Shags?
Is it a sea? It's some kind of sea creature, isn't it?
Oh, you make me want to puke. Kels, does the name Minky mean anything to you?
Aww.
Yeah.
It sounds a bit cute.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it? You knew the name of Charlie?
Cecil.
Charlie Cecil Wolf the Lion. You knew the name of that. You don't know the name of Minky. We, as a society, are screwed.
What's Minky? Who's Minky?
Yeah, who's Minky?
Minky's one of 44 cats that's been murdered.
Oh, no.
Murdered?
Killed with antifreeze or ecstasy. A serial cat... This gets look how much space that gets under an Asian man's nose. See, it's the page. I'm describing the page. There's a big picture of an Asian man's nose. Tiny little bit. A serial cat poisoner. I'll be honest, I'm more outraged by someone killing Minky with ecstasy. Mextasy. Extra kinky.
Yeah.
Than I am about flipping Mike Mendoza, the lion, getting...
Hang on, they're both cats. Why is one cat worth more than another?
Because, right, I'll tell you why, because there's 44 of these bad boys. Minky is kind of the poster boy. And also, these are cats. I've met a cat. I've touched cats. Never touched a lion.
Yeah, but proportionally, if I can say it, proportionally...
You can't.
No, proportionally, then the amount of cats killed there is less than Cecil represented.
What on earth are you talking about?
Can I step in here?
Please do, Justin. It's about time someone did.
If that person was photographed with the 44 cats and a can of antifreeze, I can assure you that would be on the front page. That's the difference.
Should I tell you partly my problem I have with animals and why I'm not quite as anti-hunting as some people would like me to be? Can I play you a little clip of... who's Britain's greatest actor, Justin?
Britain's greatest actor?
It's William Shatner.
Okay.
Listen to this clip of William Shatner and what he went through with wild animals.
Oh, sure. Well, I remember I wrote...
Oh, no, hang on, that's Tiny Tim. Tiny Tim is not... Here we go. This is William Shatner.
Shatner and his family have taken a safari deep into the jungles of Botswana. His love of animals put him into a tank with a killer whale and gave him a close encounter with Coco, the mountain gorilla that learned sign language from her keepers.
A mountain gorilla? This is gigantic. And I got scared. So the only thing I could think of was to say to Coco, I love you, Coco. Because I knew that if I said I love you, then I'd start to feel
it's
it.
An actor's
it's a
trick,
simple
isn't it?
actor's trick.
It's an actor's trick, yeah.
I love you, Coco. I advanced on her. I love you, Coco. Coco, I love you. And I knew that my body was softening. I love you, Coco. And I got right in front of her. I said, Coco, and I looked into her deep brown eyes. I said, I love you, Coco. She put her hand out and grabbed me by the balls.
Now, you see, that is why these animals have got no respect.
Well, we should be having respect for them. We should.
I tell you who we should be having respect for. People that are busting, absolutely busting for a Jimmy Riddle.
Yeah.
Absolutely busting for a pea. Right? Justin, have you ever... I'm going to ask the question straight. To all the members of my team. I'm expecting the best answer from the young lady. Have you ever peed in the street, Justin?
Yes, I have.
Have you ever peed in a swimming pool?
No.
Oh, come on!
All right, maybe when I was 5.
Thank you. Shags, ever peed in the street?
Yes.
Kels?
Yes.
Ever done a poo in the street?
No.
Ever done a wee-wee in the street?
Yes.
Thank you. We've all...
You're welcome.
No. We've all done it, right? And, you know, I'm not being funny. There are murders going on, kidnaps going on, buses being hijacked almost every day, and the police are focusing on people having a wee-wee. Here's the story. Let's be having you. Police in Hitching... There they are. You're not doing one now, are you, Just?
No, I'm fine, boss. No.
Are using CCTV to name and shame people using a residential alley as a toilet. Well, first of all, No one lives in an alley, so that's nonsense. Anyone caught urinating on West Alley in the town centre will have their image published online and the public will be asked to name them. This gets me angry. Hertfordshire police say they are taking this new approach following complaints from residents. Dealey, tell me about this alleyway.
West Alley is a secluded area of the town. It's just off the high street there and close to a number of the pubs in the town. However, and you mentioned this kind of being residential, that there is a small block of flats connected to the alley, and those residents there are having to suffer with their front doorsteps being used as a toilet, amongst other things, too unsavoury to mention. Now, the police, they responded to this by installing cameras, but residents say this is yet to have any impact at all. So police now, guess what? They're stepping up patrols in the area and they're issuing anybody with a fixed penalty notice of up to £60. One man in his late teens has already been given one of those. And if police are not able to catch anybody in the act, what they're hoping to do is to use these images from CCTV to name and shame the culprits online as well. So pictures of people going for a wee being placed online, inviting the public to say, who is this person?
I've just noticed a connection in this story. Tell me about Sally White. She's a resident. What pub does she run?
Yes, Sally White also runs the Cock. That's the Cock pub near the end of the alley. She welcomes this approach, but says they would also like CCTV.
Prints like that one.
Prints like that one. She also wants more cameras down another alleyway, which runs down the side of the pub. Another resident, Margaret, you'll be talking to her later. She says that she's owned an apartment there for over 3 years and says it's horrible. She says it's not just wee-wee. People are being sick in the alley and other things as well. She says that she's given up calling the police and says her neighbour calls them almost every weekend. On a Sunday morning, they say it's so bad they're having to go out and clean it up themselves. She's even spent £400 on a GoPro camera to record evidence herself.
Wow, that's crazy because you can get them for at least half that. Justin, listen, it's an interesting story. I know you're taking that to the streets. I've got something for you as well on page 25 of the Daily Mail.
Yes, please,
Some
sir.
charity workers going around with their little buckets, shaking their little buckets to get some cash. They've dressed up as gollies. Now.
Yeah, I've seen this, yep.
Now, I mean, stupid? Yes. Dumb? Oh, of course. Offensive? Can you take it to the streets and let's find out?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've mentioned this before to you. I think, to us looking at that, we don't find it too offensive. However, we're not a black member of the community, so I'll take it to the streets and find out what people think.
Thank you, boss. Speak to you in a bit. Ta-ta.
Every time I think of you, I get a shot right through into a bolt of blue. It's no problem of mine, but it's a problem I find, living a life that I can't leave behind. There's no sense in telling me the wisdom of a fool won't set you free, but that's the way that it goes, and it's what nobody knows. And every day my confusion grows. Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees and pray. I'm waiting for that final moment you say the words that I can't say. I feel fine and I feel good. I feel like I never should. Whenever I get this way, I just don't know what to say. Why can't we be ourselves like we were yesterday? I'm not sure what this could mean. I don't think you're what you seem. I do admit to myself that if I hurt someone else, then I'll never see just what we're meant to be. Every time I see you falling, I get down on my knees and pray. I'm waiting for that final moment you say the words that I can't say. Every time I see you falling, I'll get down on my knees and pray. I'm waiting for that final moment you say the words that I can't say.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's been an accident on the M40 London bound at junction 4 for High Wycombe, and it's blocking one of the lanes. On the A413 Amersham Road in Chelfont St Giles, that has resurfacing work going on at Bottom House Farm Lane, so that could cause some delays. And in Milton Keynes it's looking quiet so far this morning, but on the A421 at the Kingston roundabout there is still roadworks going on, so we're being told to expect delays there too. On the trains, the 6:59 service from Milton Keynes Central to London Euston has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 6:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Police have launched a crackdown on nuisance motorbikes in nearby Hatton Regis, but due to safety reasons, workers on the site have to down tools every time bikers come onto the land. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on the Indian Ocean island of Reunion is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370, which vanished without trace in March last year. Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014. And migrants have made fresh attempts to reach Britain from Calais overnight in spite of new security measures announced yesterday.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers will resume on 133 for 3 this morning on day 2 of the third Ashes test at Edgbaston. That's just 3 behind Australia after bowling out the tourists for just 136 yesterday. James Anderson took 6 wickets.
We bowled really well as a group, a lot better than we bowled at Lords. You know, we've worked hard this last week trying to figure out what went wrong and what we can do better, and I thought we did it much better today, having lost the toss and been put in the field. So we're really happy, and I thought the boys came out really positively with the bat.
MK Dons manager Carl Robinson says fans will be excited by new signing Sam Gallagher from Southampton. The 19-year-old England under-19 international has joined on a season-long loan. Meanwhile, the Dons have a pre-season friendly at non-league Brackley tonight. And Football Association Chairman Greg Dyke says the FA will back Michel Platini to become the next president of FIFA to replace Sepp Blatter. In golf, the Women's British Open gets underway at Turnberry this morning. The British charge will be led by Woburn-based Charlie Hull.
Yeah, I'm always ready. I always think I've got to be patient around any links golf course or around any golf course, for that. But I feel just got to dig down, hit bad shot, oh well, forget about it. It shows me, like last year I proved it where I started double and then bogey or bogey or something like that and still shot 6 under.
Tom Daly and Rebecca Gallantry have won gold in the team event at the World Aquatics Championship in Russia. And jockey AP McCoy has led the tributes to the former BBC racing commentator Sir Peter O'Sullivan, who's died at the age of 97.
He had the most distinguished, most recognisable voice that racing will ever have. Commentaries like, Don Run, the mare's going to get up. As a child, I was 12 years of age when that happened. Those are commentaries that you'll never forget,
BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 7.
Ignorant, immoral, self-important thugs comprise the so-called Islamic State. They casually murder other people. These uneducated subhumans live a life of hate. These ISIS infidels are the devil's children. They besmirch the name of Islam as they do their harm. They must stop their ugly, vain posturing. They should fully study the sacred Quran. They should fully study the sacred Quran.
lips are sealed. Ooh, sealed. 03459 455 555 is the phone number. I've got not just my iPod, guys. I have my entire music collection here. It's like a million songs. So if you want to play iPod roulette against that database, 03459 455 555. And also, am I right in thinking it's out of order for the police to prosecute people who just want to empty their bladders? For me, urinating in the street is the same as breastfeeding in public. Huh?
Huh?
What?
Urinating.
How?
Well, as long as you do it discreetly, is there anything? Okay.
But
No.
if you're breastfeeding in public, you're not really squirting it on the floor or the wall.
Some might spill.
It doesn't, so it doesn't
There's-
affect anybody else.
Here's the thing. Okay, here we go.
afterwards.
Here we go. Kelly,
Yes.
apart from rotting,
Hmm?
name the two most basic human needs. The two most basic human needs.
Breathing.
Okay. The three most basic human needs.
Breathing.
Just one, yeah,
Mhm.
you got that one.
Eating.
Correct.
Drinking.
Expelling the waste from within the body.
Yeah.
So if I want to eat ginsters in public, if I want a baby to suckle in public, there is not a problem with that.
Just don't give it the ginsters.
If I want to, you don't get it confused.
Yeah.
Don't twist it. Please don't twist my melons. Seriously, I'm very, very uncomfortable for a week after that. It's fun to start with, but then you just took it, you twisted it too far. If I want to breastfeed in public, then I, as a woman,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you are.
that should be my right,
Yeah.
whether I have a child or not. And if I want to urinate in public, I mean, I'm doing it discreetly. I'm not just going to get me what's it out in Waterstones or a BHS or anything, am I? I'm not like Kath's daughter. No, I'm going to do it discreetly in an alleyway. What is the problem with that?
Well, once upon a time,
I'm glad you agree. Oh, sorry, you've not finished.
my friend did a wee-wee
Yeah.
in public, and the police came over and said, "What are you doing?" And she said, "A wee-wee."
Yeah.
And he wrote her out a fine, and we pretended that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
I think he believed it. We got her to push her belly out, and yeah, then she got a
That's
little
such
letter to her house.
Why have
saying,
you never told me that story before? If I met people, that would be the first story I would tell them.
Really?
Just to let them know I was a dullard. 03459 455 555. Are the police overreacting to this? People weeing in an alleyway. The thing is, either side of the alleyway, it's shops. It's probably like a chicken shop and, I don't know, a pound shop. I don't know. So it's not like it's houses.
Okay, so you and your youngest,
Yeah.
your favourite,
Yeah.
walking out. You walk down an alley, and there's a big man.
Yeah.
He's just having a wee in the alley.
Yep.
And you and your boy are like, "Oh, you're right."
Yep.
How do you feel about your boy seeing that?
My boy did a poo in the back garden. Got no limits.
Fair enough.
There's no limits. 03459 455. Who was that? Someone phoned up to complain?
No.
What did they want?
He wanted to have a... Sorry, I can't hear anything because I'm phoning him back.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. 03459 455 555. Let's have a little bit of fun with this. The police overreacting to this story, and where's the best place you've ever had a wee-wee? I have a thing. I have a very weak bladder, David. Right? Could probably get a blue badge for it if I pushed. I don't want to milk the system. But if I go on a long car journey of anything over 45 minutes, I need to expel fluids from my bladder. I need to pee. And so I'm constantly in multi-storey car parks urinating.
Yeah, that's good, is it? You come on the radio. You talk some common sense sometimes on this programme.
Thank you. Well, I'm glad you agree with me today, David. That's something.
This morning you're talking rubbish.
Huh?
I'm a long-distance lorry driver.
Oh, you guys, you pee in a bottle and then drink it.
Yeah, we sell it. We don't drink it. We sell it. We make good money out of that. There's enough perverts out there that buy it. So that's not the subject we're talking about, is it? The subject we're talking about is the fact that you can wee in public. Well, it's stuck and it smells and it's a health hazard. What's wrong with that?
Well, hang on a minute. Why is it a health hazard? I'm not saying we should go around licking it. If it's an alleyway, you're telling me, David, you've never been in an alleyway or behind Nissa and you've done a wee. I don't believe you.
Well, that's okay. You can call me a liar all you like.
I'm not calling you a liar. I'm calling you a non-believist.
What you're talking this morning is rubbish. You go into Toddington Services, any of these truck stops anywhere, and it smells disgusting.
Right. Oh, Dave, we lost David there. We lost David. David, are you back? David's in time. He's gone. I didn't know what his point was. He sells his urine to perverts. What? Really? The thing about truck drivers, they are the worst when it comes to urine, right? I hope you're enjoying your breakfast. Nice orange juice? Is it, though? Because they pee in bottles. And I've seen this. I've seen truck drivers and white van drivers. I've seen them empty their wee-wee bottle at a service station. That is disgusting. Just go and do it. It's biodegradable. Go and do it behind a bush. You've never been around the back of a happy shopper and I don't believe that for a second. We're all overreacting. There are serious crimes going on, guys. Serious crimes. And that's the best that you can come up with. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number if you want to give us a call. 81333. Start your text 3CR. Big story today. Very big story in the Daily Mail. Very, very big story. Just weeks after his marriage breakup, is Ben Affleck dating his nanny? Couldn't care less.
His actual nanny?
No.
Oh. Because that would be a story.
It's by Simon Cable.
Mm.
Just a day after their 10th wedding anniversary, Hollywood power couple Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner stunned the world of show business when they confirmed they are to divorce. Now, just weeks later, the 42-year-old actor doesn't look as good as me. Has been forced to deny claims he's struck up a romance. Hey, it's boring. So, doing Pointless today.
Oh, yeah.
Did I tell you who my partner is?
No, but I've heard.
Keith Chegwin. Me and Cheggers. Cheggers is my partner on Pointless. We don't stand a flipping chance.
What are the rules of Pointless?
Can't cheat. Certainly cannot cheat. That is rule number one.
Yeah.
No cheating. Second rule is you're not really meant to talk about Pointless.
Oh.
Second rule of Pointless is don't... No, that's Fight Club, isn't
That's
it?
Fight Club.
You can talk about Pointless. You've got to stand there.
What's the gist of the game?
Can I give you my prediction, right? Because I
Yeah.
spoke to... You have to speak to a researcher before.
Oh, yeah.
And I fell into the... I was an idiot. I was an idiot. So naive. I've been out... I've not been in the game for a long time. She goes, what subjects do you like? I went, music, movies, popular culture, stuff like that. She went, all right. What subjects would you not like to get? I went, sport. Oh, no, I'm going to get sport now.
Yeah.
They're going to give me sport.
You just said the monkey.
Don't like... It's what I did when I did the I'm a Celebrity interview, right? They said, any creatures you don't like? Don't like spiders.
Yeah.
Right? I do like snakes. And also rats, because the rats they're going to use are going to be from pet shops. So I went, I tell you what, I love spiders. I cannot get enough spiders, but I can't stand snakes and rats. And you could see them going, So I bet you today I'm going to get a shed load. My computer's just... There it is. I'm going to get a shed load of sports questions.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's really busy on the M40 into London at junction 4 for High Wycombe because of an accident earlier. It's been moved to the hard shoulder now, so all the lanes are open, but it's looking very slow because of the brief stoppage for the recovery earlier. On the M25 anti-clockwise, it's busy from junction 20 for Kings Langley to 19 for Watford, and elsewhere in Berkhamsted on the High Street, there's temporary traffic lights at Cowper Road, which could cause some delays when it gets busier. And on the trains, the 6:59 service from Milton Keynes Central to London Euston has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. 6:47, it's Thursday the 30th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on an Indian Ocean island is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. And Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months. Here's the weather.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, a very good morning to you. Well, temperatures are still a bit below average for the time of year. It's a rather chilly start to the morning, but it's not as cold as it's going to be this time tomorrow. So we're starting off the day on around 8 or 9 degrees away from the town centres. There's a bit of cloud around. We might just see a few showers around today as well. They're most likely, I think, towards eastern areas of Hertfordshire. So watch out for those showers at times through the course of the day, but otherwise looking mostly dry, and there will be some good spells of sunshine around as well. A little bit breezy this morning, bit of cloud around, but the cloud should thin and break, and the breeze will gradually ease down as well. So altogether, probably a nicer day for most of us than we saw yesterday. But watch out for those showers, particularly towards northern and eastern parts. Temperature-wise, we'll be up to the mid to the high teens, probably peaking out at around 18, maybe 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit, slightly below where they should be for this time of year. The temperatures overnight tonight, though, it's going to feel distinctly chilly. So unseasonably cool. Away from the town centres, we could even see lows of around 5 or 6 degrees Celsius. So a really quite chilly start to the day tomorrow, but a lovely day. Temperatures will be that little bit higher. We'll probably get up into the 20s tomorrow, sort of 21, 22 degrees Celsius. Lots of sunshine around and staying dry. It'll be dry too over the course of the weekend. Temperatures building to the mid-20s by the time we get to Sunday. So feeling a little bit warmer. That's the forecast, Ian.
OK, 03459 455 555. Who's this plum? Mr. Lee, you are infantile and irritating. Thank you. You implied the lorry driver was lying. I didn't imply it, I said it. How dare you? Be very glad you're in Dunstable and I'm in Hemel. Threats of violence, Claire? Morning, Claire. What you got for us?
Morning. I was just listening to your story about urinating and opening your bowels in public.
Well, no, I've not condoned opening your bowels in public.
No, but I just thought it's connected, it's related, and it just
It's
reminded
nearby.
me of, it just reminded me of when I was younger and we used to go to swimming every Saturday with my sister.
Yeah.
And this one Saturday, got in the pool and she said, oh, Claire, I need to go to the toilet. I said, well, I'm not coming with you. And she's like, oh, come on, please. I said, no. So anyway, I swam off and she pulled her swimming costume to one side and the rest is, history.
Well, hang on now. What was it a number 1 or was it, as I suspect it was, a number 2?
Well, it was a number 4. It doubled.
Number 4. That's a evacuate the pool, guys! And it was just floating around, was it?
Yeah, and they had to get one of them big scoops and scoop it out.
Well, listen, the line isn't great, and the story is outrageous. Claire, thank you very much indeed. Oh dear. Look, I don't condone that. I'm not a deviant. Well, Kelly Betts, tell me a little bit about this BBC introducing track by the Musical Youth Club. The song's called I Give You My All, and I'm really looking forward to hearing this one. I've got a lot of time for these guys. Tell us a little bit about them.
I'm
There's
really
some great
looking
youngsters.
forward to you queuing it up.
It's queued up. It's ready to go. Oh, the arrow doesn't always follow. There we go. It's queued up. It's ready to go. Button A.
Hey. This weekend we are live from Stand and Call In. We have our own stage there.
Stand
it's a
and Calling.
festival in Hertfordshire. Exactly, you know it. And we are doing a live simulcast with BBC Essex.
Hey, those guys. Wake up to the whale.
Yeah, he won't be there. He might be. Anyway, this is a band called Youth Club. It's their song I'll Give You My All, and they are introducing track of the week. They'll be on our stage this Saturday.
Beautiful.
At Stand
Okay,
and Call
please
In.
stop talking now.
What is it you want from me? I've tried but I can't never seem to see. All I ever get back is I'm not sure I want that. It's a crazy game you play. I'll give you my all, it's always been that way. All I ever get back is I'm not sure I want that. I'll give you my all. I'll give you my all if you want it. And if you're to fall, not sure I want that. I'll give you my all. I'll give you my all if you want it. And if you're too far out of the dark, I'll come running and catch you in arms. And won't let you go till there's something. I'll give you my all. I'll give you my all. I just wanna do it right. I just wanna give you my everything. I worry about you every night. How I wanna give you my all. 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 I'll give you my all. I'll give you my all if you want it. And if you're too far out of the dark, I'll come running and catch you in arms. And won't let you go till there's something. I'll give you my all. I'll give you my all.
A stick, a stone, it's the end of the road. The rest of a stump, a little alone. A sliver of glass, it is life, it's the sun. It is night, it is death, it's a trap, it's a gun. The oak when it blooms,
A fox in the brush,
the knot in the wood,
the song of a thrush,
the wood of the wind,
a cliff, a fall.
a scratch, a lump, it is nothing at all.
It's the wind blowing free, it's the end of the slope.
It's a beam, it's a void, it's a hunch, it's a hope. And the riverbank talks of the waters of March. It's the end of the strain, it's the joy in your heart. The foot, the ground,
The flesh and the bone,
the beat of the road, a slingshot stone.
a fish, a flash, a silvery glow.
A fight, a bet, the range of a bow.
The bed of the well, the end of the line.
The dismay in the face, it's a loss, it's a fine.
A spear, a spike,
A point, a nail,
a drip,
a drop,
the end of the tale.
a truckload of bricks in the soft morning light.
The shot of a gun in the dead of the night.
A mile, a must, a thrust, a bump.
It's a girl, it's a rhyme, it's a cold, it's the mumps.
The plan of the house, the body in bed, and the car that got stuck.
It's the mud, it's the mud.
A float, adrift,
A flight, a wing,
a hawk, a quail.
the promise of spring.
And the riverbank talks of the waters of March. It's the promise of life, it's the joy in your heart. A snake, a stick,
It is John,
it is Joe.
it's a thorn in your hand,
A cut in your toe,
a point, a grain,
a bee, a bite,
a blink, a buzzard,
sudden stroke of night,
a pin,
a needle,
a sting,
a pain,
a snail,
a riddle,
a wasp,
a stain, a pass in the mountains, a horse and a mule. In the distance, the shafts roll three shadows of blue.
and the riverbank talks of the waters of March. It's the promise of life in your heart, in your heart.
A stick,
A stone,
the end of the load,
the rest of a stone,
a lonesome road,
a sliver of glass,
a life, the sun,
a night, a death,
the end of the run, and the riverbank talks of the waters of March.
it's the end of all strength.
It's the joy in your heart. Ba-da-bum-ba-ba, 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 ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba, ba-ba-ba-ba.
Here comes the end, cute ending, cute ending, cute end. Here it comes. Here it comes. Oh, cute ending. Now, that's Joyce, Waters of March. And I never announce the songs. The only reason I'm announcing that song, because, Kelly Betts, that's the only record I've ever heard on the radio before Shazam. And I was so intrigued by it, I had to phone up the radio station and say, what was the record you just played?
Oh,
And
we
it
get
was
that
that.
a lot because you never mention.
No, well, you know, that's one of the joys.
But we have it all on the website now, don't we? Everything we play.
It's on, if you go to www... Have you got pen and paper? If you go to https://www.google.co.uk and then you type in what songs did Iain play, and it will probably, fingers crossed, it will take you to the right place. Fingers crossed there.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M40, there was an accident earlier at junction 4 for High Wycombe. It has been cleared out of the way and it's still looking quite slow on the speed sensors, though, approaching junction 4 for High Wycombe on the way into London. On the M25, it's busy anti-clockwise between junction 20 for Kings Langley and 19 for Watford. And it's also slow on the A1 southbound in Boreham Wood from the Holiday Inn towards Stirling Corner. Looking elsewhere on the speed sensors and into High Wycombe on Harperton Road, it's looking slow in both directions. And on the train departure boards, the 6:59 service from Milton Keynes Central to London's been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, miles away there. I was 5 seconds late pressing that button. I can only apologise. So, come on, we've all peed somewhere, haven't we? And is it really that bad to dress up as a golly? Golly, I'm not sure.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: major Bedfordshire road project being delayed by nuisance motorbikes, possible breakthrough in search for missing plane, and Milton Keynes Hospital reassures pregnant women.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Police have launched a crackdown on nuisance motorbikes in nearby Houghton Regis, but due to safety reasons, workers on the site have to down tools every time bikers come onto the land. More from Ollie Bayliss.
The Woodside Link will connect Houghton Regis and the industrial estates in Dunstable to a new M1 Junction 11A. The whole project is expected to cost just over £38 million and should be finished by spring 2017. However, off-road bikers and dog walkers have been forcing access onto the site, causing workers to switch off machinery until the trespassers can be removed. They tell us this happens on an almost daily basis, and on occasion the police have had to be called out.
Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on the Indian Ocean island of Reunion is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. Experts believe it's from the wing of a Boeing 777, the same model as the missing plane. The plane travelling from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing with 239 people on board vanished without trace in March last year. Police have described motorists who filmed the aftermath of yesterday morning's fatal crash on the M1 near Milton Keynes as disrespectful. A 35-year-old woman from Bedford was killed in a collision involving 4 cars and an HGV on the northbound carriageway just before 8 a.m. A 55-year-old man from Warwickshire has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014. Jonathan and Kirsty Stansfield lost their son George, but only found out 6 months later that it was down to hospital mistake mistakes, not natural causes. More from Anna Todd.
For 6 months, the couple thought George died of natural causes until a hospital report revealed 8 different concerns about the labour. George was actually one of 5 babies who died at the hospital between 2013 and 2014. An independent external review identified failures in care in all cases. The hospital says every recommendation has been acted on, including new monitoring equipment, rapid escalation of care and a fresh eyes review for every labour.
Migrants have made fresh attempts to reach Britain from Calais overnight despite new security measures. For a third successive night, several hundred people had to be escorted away from the Channel Tunnels freight terminal by French police. Video images of people who use a hitch in alleyway as a toilet will be shown in public in order to name and shame offenders. Cameras have been installed in West Alley in the town centre. Hertfordshire police say anyone caught will also be issued with a fine of up to £60. In sport, England's cricketers will resume on 133 for 3 this morning on day 2 of the third Ashes test at Edgbaston. That's just 3 behind Australia after bowling out the tourists for just 136 yesterday. The weather mostly dry and sunny, but scattered showers could develop this afternoon. A maximum temperature 18 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. Morning, Iain Lee, BBC Three Counties Radio. Busy show. Gollies, wee-wees, and motorbikes. And of course, you know the rules, don't you guys? I sit here and talk about this stuff. You can call in about the stuff we're talking about, or you can call in for anything, right? Literally anything. We're not like one of these shows where we have a specific thing we talk about. Not to knock those shows, that's kind of the standard format on radio, and it works brilliantly. But if you phone up, the odds are you'll get on. We have apart from that guy that's calling now. No, Dennis, even you're welcome. Honestly, you can call in about anything. It's maybe I haven't stressed that enough recently. If you want to have a pop, if you want to say hello, if you've got something that's going on in your head, 03 459 455 555.
Across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Captain Calorie having a pop on Twitter and on the text. Iain, listening this morning on the way home from work. Awful. You are Tin Pot Local Radio, cutting callers off because they have a different view. Oh, no, you don't. Well, you've not used your real name. And B, No. You're talking about the trucker, yeah? He dropped off. The line dropped off. You probably heard it was a very poor line. He dropped off and then he came back and then it cut off. So that's wrong. And also, if you have any knowledge of my history, if you listen to any of my shows, I'm more likely to cut you off if you're agreeing with me. Where am I going to take that conversation? Iain, I just want to say a really good point. I really agree with it. Okay, I mean, hey, that's cool if you want to phone in and say that, but where do I take that? Oh, no, as I was tweeting yesterday, for me, I enjoy the sport of a good argument. So, no, you're completely wrong. Don't worry, I accept your apology. 81333, if you want to send some misguided abuse, start your text 3CR, or the best way to do it, 03 459 455 555. Well, I'll only cut you off if you get boring, if you're libelous, or if you swear. That's it. Otherwise, come on and we'll have a chat, Oh, man, this story just goes on and on and on, and it's so frustrating. Off-road bikers are causing more problems for Dunstable, this time because they're disrupting construction of a new bypass around the town. Builders on the new Woodside Link Road say they're being constantly interrupted and have to down tools each time the bikers force their way onto the land whilst they wait for the police. I'm almost embarrassed to say it, but it's the MP for South West Bedfordshire, Andrew Selous, again on the same story again. Morning, Andrew.
Good morning, Iain.
It's not in any way a criticism of talking to you. It's nice to talk to you. I just wish that we could, have a conversation saying that this had been put to rest. This is so annoying, and now it's workers that are being disrupted.
Well, I completely agree with you. Let me say a couple of things. I mean, the first thing is that this is an absolutely essential road for Dunstable and Hatton Regis. It's going to bring, new jobs, new houses, and really cut the traffic jam. So we very, very much need this important road. We've waited it for a very long time. Secondly, Saturday before last, the police did a great job. They were out in force in Houghton Regis, parts of Dunstable. You know, they impounded loads of bikes. You know, they caught lots of people riding, and they did a really brilliant job. And I think that really helped the cricket team, which we spoke about last time, Ian, if you remember. So, you know, all credit to Bedfordshire Police and Chief Inspector Gavin Hughes-Rowlands in particular, who I've talked a lot about this issue with. They really did the business then. But, you know, they obviously need to make sure that the construction workers can get on and complete this important road in time. So I will certainly get back onto the police again so the workers can get on and build the road.
So, I mean, the thing is, they're taking this even further, aren't they? Because they're actually using wire cutters to get through the fences so they can go in this area and do it.
Well, that's criminal damage, isn't it, in addition to illegally riding these bikes. So that's at least 2 counts that the police can get them on. And it's just completely unacceptable. We're all as taxpayers paying for this road. If it takes longer, I mean, we don't get it when we should get it, and it may well end up costing more. So it's completely unacceptable. I know it's tough for the police. Well done on what they've done recently, but they do need to make sure as well that these workers can carry on and build this road on time.
And this isn't for those people going, cheeky workers looking, you know, any opportunity to put down their tools. They have to, don't they? By the regulations of the building site, if there are people on there that shouldn't be on there, they have to put their tools down and stop working until they're gone.
Well, if they go and injure someone, you know, you can imagine the sort of trouble they'll get into. So, unfortunately, they do, yes.
Andrew, do you know what? One day, you and I, you're going to come on the air and we're going to say, it's done, it's finished. These idiots have had their bikes taken or they've learnt their lesson and people can go to work safely, they can walk their dogs safely, they can drive around safely without fear of someone coming around on an off-road motorbike. It will happen. I'm confident it will happen.
Well, I definitely want to work to achieve that, and maybe we can try and get a safe place where they can ride these bikes, you know, where it's legal.
Yep.
They don't want to cause any difficulty. That's something I'm also working on as well.
Andrew, thank you very much. Let's see if we can get Andrew on for something nice next time. He always comes on. He's one of those MPs, it's a drop of a hat. If it's a story that he's connected with or he feels he should be connected with, boom, he comes on straight away. Let's get him on for something nice one day, can we? I feel bad just getting him on to have a whinge. He's unlike some MPs, no names, no pack drill, Mr. Baker, who won't come on, who don't think that they have. I don't want to talk to BBC Local Radio. It's not. You're not doing it to feed my ego, you know. I'm a great scheme of things, whatever. But you're doing it because what on earth is that?
You're right there.
Okay, yeah, okay, here we go. I've got a formal complaint from Lynn. She sent me a formal complaint. Okay, this is a formal complaint from Lynn B. Kiss, 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 Welwyn Garden City. Iain, you're absolutely vile. I'm sick of you, lavatory mind and mouth. We are having breakfast. All you can come up with, lavatory talk, and making a formal complaint to the owers that be. You need to be suspended. Or better still, fired. Well, now's a great time to do that, Lynn, because just in the middle of renegotiating my contract for the next 12 months. So probably now's a great time to get in there.
Also, you're going on holiday, aren't you?
Yeah, and also, the story about people having a wee in alleyways is the story, you know. If you want to get someone sacked, Shags needs to get sacked. You need to make a formal complaint about Shags. Shags, Lynn's making a formal, what should you call it, complaint about you. Okay. You came up with a story about weeing in an alleyway. I'm not taking the flak for that.
I didn't come up with it. The story was there.
The story was there.
You
started it.
I did start.
There we go. So Lynn, I appreciate your input, my darling. Thank you so much. Or, here's another idea, Lynn. Switch off. So you can switch off, or go and listen to Heart. You know, there's all those options, aren't there, Kels? You could listen to Heart, Radio 4, or you could just go and. There's all those options, aren't there, Kelly?
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest the last one, but who am I? I'm just a man. Just a man with a man's courage. Yeah.
Just a man doing a job. Just an ordinary guy.
And that's the problem. She doesn't want me doing a job. Either this job or big jobs. 03459. I know it's childish, Lynn, but come on, it's childish, Dennis.
No, it isn't. I'll tell you what. I wouldn't let you go away. I'll nail your feet down.
That's terrifying, made even more terrifying by the fact it sounds like you're broadcasting from Wembley Stadium.
Yes, I am doing. I just turned the
you turned the reverb radio off.
Turn
I
that
got complaints about you yesterday.
What about?
I say complaints about you. I got complaints about the way I dealt with you yesterday.
Oh, listen. It was my wife's birthday yesterday. You could have done what you like.
I did. She loved it.
Didn't matter. I should have bet you the 10. I should have bet you the 10 quid that she wouldn't make it.
Ah, that's a nice bet.
Today we've been married 66 years.
Now you know what now, Dennis.
Yeah.
You know I'm not going to congratulate you, don't you?
I know you are. Yeah.
Well, and you know that because of me not congratulating you, I'm going to get complaints.
Well, that's all right. Look, as far as I'm
But they should be complaining about you.
I have. Look, we've had some fun in the past, and I've got a great admiration for you. You tell them what you like and sod them.
I like your style. You touch my car, I smash your face.
Incidentally, these motorbikes on this thing, Boris in London has got a nice big water cannon he can't use. Why don't they bring it up here and give him a damn good drowning as they go past?
How prolific, Dennis, is your sperm?
How prolific? Well, yes.
Gets around? I'll tell you why. There's a story in that... Don't worry, I'm not being vulgar, Limby.
No.
She wants to make another... I can't even say the word that she's... Colaint.
Yes.
The man who's... This is a great story in the Daily Mail today. The man who's fathered 10 children for strangers in 4 months. An extraordinary and troubling encounter with one of Britain's most prolific sperm donors. He's got prolific sperm. He looks like a squinty version of me. Doesn't he? Does that, Ace? It does, didn't it? There's a woman on telly that looked like me today. Bit plain. There was, seriously. Kenzie Kilpatrick's 8th child was born last week. He's thrilled, showing me a picture on his phone of the girl. He reads out a message from the mum. I'm so happy to tell you our little miracle baby girl is here. The 26-year-old looks as proud as any new dad, but Kenzie will play no further part in this child's life, nor will he be a parent to his 7 other biological children. Kenzie... Here we go. I knew there would be meat and 2 veg to this story, Dennis. Kenzie, a single gay man, this week emerged as one of Britain's most prolific freelance sperm donors. Dubbed the Sperminator. Anyways, I would be very reluctant to give mine to anybody, Dennis. That well, I can't end that sentence. I would be very reluctant to go and donate it unwittingly.
Well, unwittingly, yes. You don't get the pleasure, but they get the results.
Very wise words, Dennis, and I think we should probably, just for the sake of both of us, we should end that conversation there.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is busy anti-clockwise between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40. And looking at speed sensors on the M40, it is looking quite slow still towards London, approaching junction 4 for High Wycombe after an accident earlier, and there is a brief stoppage at around 6:30. It's still a little slow through there. In Bricketwood on the North Orbital Road at the M25 junction 21A roundabout, that's looking very busy. And in Harpenden, the High Street's looking slow in both directions. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, thank you very much indeed. (7:16), Thursday the 30th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on an Indian Ocean island is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. And video images of people who use a hitchin alleyway as a toilet will be shown in public in order to name and shame the offenders.
This weekend, it's Luton's biggest party.
As 40,000 people descend on Wardown Park for this year's Mela, we'll bring you all the best bits.
We're a Gidda team, so we've come to perform today alongside artists on the stage and also our own Bhangra team as well.
From 2 on Saturday afternoon, I'll be live in the park, talking to artists and the audience.
Last year was amazing, and this year looks like it's even better, so it's growing, and hopefully we'll be back next year as well.
Then from 6 on Sunday night, Yasmin Khan brings you some of the best music from around the world.
And Edward Adu rounds off our coverage from 8.
Well, I said it's not every day there's a Mela, so why not make the most of it?
The Luton Mela.
This weekend on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh man, I'm busy then.
This is Iain Lee.
On BBC Three Counties Radio.
I tell you what, I don't like, and you'll not understand this, Kelly, I don't like mass gatherings of people. Makes me very, very uncomfortable.
Thanks, I'll call you back.
Mass gatherings of people.
Yeah.
Give me some examples of where you've been and you've not liked it.
Here.
Yeah.
Trains.
Yeah.
Spain.
Yeah.
You know, lots of people. Mr. Lee, you should be trying to increase your listening audience instead of antagonising people. You spelled antagonising wrong. It's a bit of a cop-out to tell them to switch to heart. This is from Janet, and then Janet does a... Janet, Janet's either a genius or... I'm going to assume she's a genius because she ends this with a brilliant gag. It's a bit of a cop-out to tell them to switch to heart. You told me to do that, and it was awful. Thank you, Janet. That's made me laugh.
Oh, I love Janet.
And then Captain Calorie, he's now gone back to Twitter, says, you should apologise for 2 reasons. 1, claiming a salary from the BBC. And 2, making people listen to this utter garbage. I replied, 1, no. 2, I don't. Don't make anybody listen.
Apart from me.
Well, yes. And do you know what? Another 6 months, and I'll see about taking those headphones off. Okay, I've got the little tool to take the staples out of your head, so we should be able to do that. I lent it to Dennis Bergkamp, and he's going to give it back to me at some point. You all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? All right, let's crack on with this then, shall we? Big stuff now. 03459 455 555 is the phone number. If you want to have a pot, I can't keep reading out your complaint texts and tweets, so phone up and complain. Otherwise, it's just, you just come across as, I don't know, a coward. 03459 455 555. Police in Hitchin are using CCTV to name and shame people using an alleyway as a toilet. Anyone caught urinating on West Alley in the town centre will have their image published online, and the public will be asked to name them. Hertfordshire Police say they're taking this new approach following complaints from residents living nearby. Well, one of those residents is Margaret. Good morning, Margaret.
Good morning.
Is it really that bad?
Absolutely.
Go on, tell me why.
I mean, it's not just West Alley in Hitchin, to be fair. I mean, the problem's been ongoing for quite some time now, and I think it's the majority of alleyways in Hitchin.
What, in the world?
No, well, I can't say for the whole world, but for sure in Hitchin over the weekend period, so Thursday night, Friday night and Saturday night.
Yeah.
I mean, they're absolutely disgusting. They really are.
But it's just people having a wee-wee, is it?
And other...
Oh, no. The other?
Absolutely.
Oh, I didn't know. See, cause, to be honest, Margaret, because I've weed in alleyways, and it's not the nicest of things, but again, it's not, I think I think a lot of people have done it. I didn't realise it was number 2s as well. That's outrageous.
It is, and people being sick as well, where they've been out, had a few too many drinks. I mean, they really are quite unpleasant.
When was the last time you found a poo in an alleyway?
Probably about last weekend.
Oh,
last weekend.
Flippin' heck. Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it's not very nice. But that being said, there are no public facilities open.
And that's the thing, isn't it?
In Hitchin.
All across the country, public toilets have been closed as a cost-saving measure. And I guess that's kind of... The byproduct is people go out drinking, or people get caught short, or people aren't very well and they need, to do their business, then they're going to do it somewhere.
They have, and unfortunately, that's the alleyways in and around town doesn't make for a very pleasant viewing on a Saturday and Sunday morning, I'm afraid.
Is naming and shaming people, though, the way forward? Because with the greatest respect, I've not done it in Hitchin, but my name might pop up.
It could. I wouldn't recommend visiting the alleyways then if I was you. I don't know. I mean, I think something does definitely have to be done about it. I mean, whether it's naming or shaming or the increased patrols around the area, but for sure something needs to be done.
They do this thing in America now, in some places, where if someone pees on a building, there's like a sensor goes off and they get sprinkled with water. There's like a shower kind of, unit above their head, and they get... that's a more imaginative way, because it would only take a handful of people to get done by that, and then word would get around, you don't want to pee in the alleyways of Hitchin because you'll get wet.
Either that or just open up the public loos, because, I mean, the public facilities aren't that far away from the town centre. They're just up the main arcade, and it would be so much easier for people just to be able to go and use them rather than sneaking around the alleyways of town.
I suppose the thing is as well, though, just thinking practically, and I really appreciate you coming on and allowing us to kind of explore this, is if someone's a bit half cut and they're caught short, they're not going to walk, even a quarter of a mile to the toilet. They will just find the nearest alleyway, won't they?
They will, but I mean the ones that I've kind of got in mind are literally the same distance.
Right.
The amount of time it would take you to walk from the high street to the alley, or up to the public loos, would be exactly the same. Facilities would be there for everyone then.
When you speak to the police, do they take it seriously? Can you hear them sniggering behind their hands? What's the response?
I mean, they do, but then very little on the flip side, then very little's been done about it up until now. I mean, this is the first kind of major push or public statement that they've made on it. I mean, the CCTV has been installed for probably 6 months now.
Yeah.
But I mean, this has been an ongoing problem for, a number of years for all of the alleys. And it's not just the residents that it affects, it's Hitchin as a whole. I mean, all of those alleys are used on a daily basis by people visiting the town, shopping, people with children, trying to walk down the alleys from the parking facilities at the top of town into the centre, and then they're faced with that. You often see families walking down there with their little children trailing their hand along the wall, and you think, oh, don't touch that. It's just horrible.
Well, having two little children, yeah, they do touch horrible things. What's your message to a gentleman? Who is, and it is primarily gentlemen. Women do it, but I know it's primarily gentlemen. What's your message to a gentleman in Hitchin who's caught short and needs to pee?
Well, perhaps go back to the pub that they've just left, or the club, or the restaurant. There are plenty of places in Hitchin. Just go back in and use the facilities, for sure. And please don't go up the alley.
It's good advice. Margaret, I really appreciate you talking to us. It's sparked a conversation. Thank you very much indeed. Please don't go up the alley just. Now, wee-wees I can understand. Number twos, that is outrageous.
Shocking. I'm going to throw something into the mix here. Obviously, public toilets we've just mentioned briefly there, but also I've seen these in London. I've also seen them locally in St Albans as well. They are mobile urinals.
Yep.
So that they're placed on a high street. Maybe that would solve this problem, surely.
Or people, I mean, could the police hand out nappies? I don't know. Is there something?
I just think, public toilets, if not the mobile urinal units, which are there for a Friday or a Saturday evening, they would work.
I've just had a tweet from a regular tweeter to the show. I won't say his name, but yeah, if you want to get T-shirts printed, he'd be able to help you.
Brilliant.
It's a 3-tier tweet, okay? This is him speaking. I had an explosive bot in an alley last year. I'd left the house. I couldn't go back. I'd wake the baby. It was 4 a.m. So I went down an alley near my house. The most I can't... you can make up what goes next.
Yeah, yep.
And I use my boxers to clean myself.
Oh, no, it's disgusting. Absolutely foul.
I nearly tweeted you a photo, but I was too ashamed.
But that could be deemed as an emergency?
Well, that could be, you're right. In all seriousness, That could be deemed as a medical emergency.
Yes.
It really could. What do you do in those situations?
Well, probably what Scott did.
Well, yeah. Justin, I know you've taken this to the streets. Can we do this after past? Is that all right?
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, buddy. Speak to you in a second. 03459 455 555. It's childish. We're all sniggering, but there is kind of a point to this conversation. If it happened near you, we've all done it, haven't we? I wouldn't do it near someone's house. I'd do it in multi-storey car parks and lifts. I don't do it in lifts. In Japan, they've just started installing toilets in lifts. Have you seen this? This is true. They've installed... the Japanese are very, very peculiar about their toilets. Their toilets are amazing. They're all computerised. There's you sit there and it's like being on the captain's log. Not the log, the captain's chair of the Starship Enterprise. It's got buttons and things. In some ladies' toilets, only in ladies' toilets, they have a button and it plays a recording of a toilet flushing. And do you know what that's for? Do you know what that's for? It's to cover any embarrassing plops, any noises.
Oh, right.
So you play the sound like you do. You run a tap. I run a tap in the toilet if there's stuff going on that I don't want people to know about. And that's what that's for. But they've installed a toilet in a lift. I think it's for if the lift breaks down. I mean, why they don't just make a lift that doesn't break down, I don't know.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Is it
hang on a
supposed to be
minute.
travel?
I tell you what. I tell you what it is, Sammy. Oh look, Simon's got angry. Look, Simon's panicking now. You just played the news bed. Sorry, Simon. Don't panic. Don't panic. What? I tell you what happened because he's got this new system here that is shiny and sparkly but is flawed, and it means it's difficult for me to jump around, get up, and get down. And also because I'm an idiot. So those two things combined really do make for a radio car crash. Sammy, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Bring it on!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is very slow anti-clockwise at junction 19 for Watford, and it's also looking really busy anti-clockwise between junction 24 for Potters Bar and 23 for the A1M at the moment. In London Colney on the North Orbital Road, it's very slow at the London Colney roundabout and Shenley Lane. And looking at the speed sensors in Harpenden, the High Street still very busy in both directions. And on the train departure boards, the 7:31 train from Bedford to Bletchley has been cancelled. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 7:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Police have launched a crackdown on nuisance motorbikes in nearby Houghton Regis, but due to safety reasons, workers on the site have to down tools every time bikers come onto the land. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on the Indian Ocean island of Reunion is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014, and migrants have made fresh attempts to reach Britain from Calais overnight despite new security measures.
Three Counties Sport.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers will resume on 133 for 3 this morning on day 2 of the third Ashes test at Edgbaston. That's just 3 behind Australia after bowling out the tourists for just 136 yesterday. Here's Jonathan Agnew.
The forecast suggests this should be an easier batting day, and England need to carefully build their lead, with the emphasis on carefully. Time is of no consideration, but to watch both teams yesterday created an image of a one-day international rather than the care and discipline required for batting in remotely challenging conditions. Australia's batsmen were culpable for a number of their dismissals, but Finn's return after 2 years produced the key wicket of Smith in his first over, and then Clark bowled for 10. Anderson reigned supreme, however, in conditions that suited him, to finish with 6 for 47. Lyth played a stroke which might end his Test career. Much greater concentration is required today.
MK Dons manager Carl Robinson says fans will be excited by new signing Sam Gallagher from Southampton. The 19-year-old England under-19 international has joined on a season-long loan. Meanwhile, the Dons have a pre-season friendly at non-league Brackley tonight. In golf, the Women's British Open gets underway at Turnberry this morning. The British charge will be led by Woburn-based Charlie Hull.
Yeah, I'm always ready. I always think I've got to be patient around any links golf course or around any golf course, for that. But I feel just got to dig down, hit bad shot, oh well, forget about it. It shows me, like last year I proved it where I started double and then bogey or bogey or something like that and still shot 6-under.
And Tom Daly and Rebecca Gallantry have won gold in the team event at the World Aquatics Championships in Russia. BBC Three Counties News and Sport. The next full bulletin is at 8.
And yet I'm the one that's accused of having a potty mouth. What's this bogey nonsense? Was a bogey?
Golf was for you.
Make me want to puke. Not in an alleyway, though.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Graham. What you got for us?
Thank you. You've done a week, Iain.
But it's the phone-in of the day. I suspect Tim's going to pick this one up and run with it at 9. Where have you done a wee then, Gray?
Well, what happened, me and my mate went to a nightclub and he basically got punched by a bouncer. So he got it in his head that he was going to get him arrested.
Yes.
So we went to the nearest police station, which is Digbeth. You might know it in Birmingham. Digbeth Police Station. And we're standing there talking to the desk sergeant, and all of a sudden I've got the urge. And I said to the desk sergeant, is there anywhere to go and have a wee? He's like, no, you'll have to go outside. So I went outside and proceeded to wee up the police station door. And a young police officer going, oh, what bloody hell are you doing? And proceeded to arrest me and I spent the night in the cell.
Can I ask a question, Graham?
Go on, then.
Had you been, I don't know, drinking heavily?
Quite possibly.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see, this is what happened. This is another reason I don't drink. This is what happens when you drink. The thing is, I bet you were arguing. I bet you were arguing as well. What are you arresting me for?
No, I wasn't arguing, actually. I'm quite pleasant when I'm drunk.
I'm glad to hear it, Graham. Thank you very much indeed. Justin, you've taken this story to the... You're right, fella.
Yeah, well, just laughing at the call there. I'm quite pleasant when I'm drunk. Does that mean that going for a wee in public is pleasant? Probably not.
It also means when he's sober, he's hideous to be around. You've taken this to the streets. What you got for us?
Absolutely. Asking people, have they done it? And also, should people be fined if they are caught going for a wee in an alleyway on the way back from a pub at the weekend? Here's what people had to say. So, be honest, have you ever gone for a wee down an alleyway like this one on the way back from the pub at the weekend?
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, right. Do you think that people like you who do that should be fined?
Not necessarily. If it's out of sight, I wouldn't say so. Find somewhere private and just... That's what I say.
So if it's down an alleyway, that's okay. What about outside somebody's home?
No, that's not okay.
Down an alleyway it is?
Yeah.
Have you done it yourself, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Should you be fined if you're caught?
I'd say yeah. It's not a very decent thing to do, is it? It's unhygienic and it's just, it's a little bit gross.
Even though you've done it yourself?
In my younger days, I've done it, but now I just go before I leave the pub or whatever, so...
Now, sir, you've actually been caught by the police going for a wee down an alleyway. What happened to you?
Nothing, she just laughed it off.
Laughed it off?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's now talk of fining people up to £60 if they are caught. What do you think about that?
It's quite a good idea. Stops all the everywhere.
So if that policewoman had fined you, you'd have said, OK, hands up, you caught me in the act, it's fair enough.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, they hang on a second, stay there. Just Dave?
Yes, morning, boss.
Good morning, Dave Luton.
Good morning, boss.
It's
again.
Good morning, Dave Luton again.
Yeah, good morning, boss Luton.
Good morning, I'm in Dunstable now.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, good.
But you're still in Luton, is it, Dave?
Yes, I am, certainly, yeah.
That is beautiful. When was the last time you saw another human being?
When? This morning.
Who was that?
The dustman.
Oh, the dustman fan. When was the last time you looked in someone's eyes?
Well, not yours, but Justin's.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wowzers, that must have been a very special moment for both of you.
No, it wasn't. No.
No, okay. Do you want to say anything to Justin before he goes and has a cheeky growler?
Yeah, we're talking about we.
We are, Dave.
We are.
Now, you remember... Excuse me. I'm talking to Justin.
Oh, okay. Well, that was Justin that was interrupting you, mate. So, just be careful. Okay.
Yeah, and you.
No. And you.
Just shut it, pal.
Steady on with the language. Are you talking to me?
Yes.
What did you say?
Just shut it, pal.
What do you think I am?
A guzzler.
Oh, do you know what? You really made me get my nerves. You talk absolutely rubbish.
What are you beefing on about?
I don't know. What did you do yesterday, Dave?
I've done a little garden.
I didn't hear you. What was that?
I've done a little garden.
Oh, a bit like Ginger Baker.
Who the hell is Ginger Baker?
Flippin' heck. Insane.
Are you real?
Yes, I am. Make your point to him and then go away.
Justin.
Yes, Dave.
You remember a few years ago you went down to Waldown Park toilets?
It doesn't ring a bell, but yeah, you carry on, Dave.
Well, you did, because they put new toilets down there about 4 or 5 years ago. Go down there again, Justin, please.
So
they're vile.
Right. So you're saying right now, you're saying live on the radio, you want to meet me in a public toilet. Is that correct? Yes or no.
No. You like going into public toilets.
All right. Okay. Well, I like going to public toilets to use them for the purpose that they're fully intended for. So let's just be careful, gentlemen. I know we're having fun, but there are young ears listening. What's your beef about these public toilets?
They stink and they're vile.
Right. Well, they're toilets, mate. Would you expect them to be full of flowers and posies?
You go down there and ask a lot of people, would they go in those toilets? And they say, no, there's something going on in those toilets. They're terrible.
What do you mean there's something going on? They're dirty?
Well, I don't know. You know. Am I one of them? I don't know. But
no idea what he's banging on about. Dave, is there a point to this phone call, or should I just cut you off?
No, the point.
I'll cut you off. Justin, great stuff. You're taking the story about some people dressing up as gollies to the street.
Is it really that offensive? That'll be on the way after 8 o'clock.
OK, Justin, thank you very much indeed. 03459 455 555. Here's a story. You know Tesco, right? Do you know this, Kelly? Do you know what Tesco have stopped selling? They've banned from their stores, from their shelves. They're going to stop selling them in an attempt to help the nation.
I know.
Oh, you would know.
Yeah.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him, Ben.
What is it?
Don't tell him, Ben.
It's what?
I'm going to turn your microphones off. They're gone. So they're banning Ribena. Customer fury at Tesco's carton crackdown. Tesco faced a backlash yesterday. Right, so this is Tesco, right, where I think you can buy fags in there, isn't it? I think you can go and buy smokes. I think you can buy whiskey in Tesco's. Is that right? I think you can buy cigarettes and smokes and drinks, boozy drinks. They're banning Ribena. Hey, we need Ribena Rosie. Ribena Rosie, if you're calling, I'm sending out the bat signal. 03459 455 555. Her granddad only invented this poisonous filth that Tesco, the bastions of all that is right and good, have decided they're going to ban. Tesco faced a backlash yesterday over its decision to stop selling Ribena drinks. The move affects small lunchbox-sized cartons of juice with added sugar and comes amid concerns about childhood obesity. The supermarket giant says it is aimed at... Oh, this is stupid. The supermarket giant says it is aimed at helping customers make healthier choices and will make a positive difference to children's health. You're still selling Coke, yeah? Yeah? Oh, okay. You're still selling Jack Daniel? Yeah, smokes? Yep, brilliant. Okay. You're still selling massive bags of sugar, is it? Okay, right, yeah, fine. However, health campaigners reacted positively with action on sugar. Oh, flipping it! Imagine being sat at home. Really, Jacinta, I think we need to start a group. We should really be getting some kind of action on sugar. Hey, that's a great name. Why don't we call it Action on Sugar? Yeah, okay, right, sure. We're going to Action on Sugar. Okay, down with sugar. No, Action on Sugar. We've decided. Calling the decision, which will also have... Jeez. They're going to ban Capri Sun? What is wrong with this world? Action on Sugar said it was it's great news. It's really great news what they're doing. Have you heard what they're doing, guys? The campaign's working. They're banning Capri Sun now. It's awesome. It's awesome. I'm just going to go and nip myself some pants. The ban, which comes into the effect at the start of the new school term in September, will only hit added sugar versions of the drinks. They're the best ones! You're still selling Red Bull, yeah? OK, that's great. Sugar-free versions will still be sold in small sizes, while the added sugar ones will be available in larger sizes. No. Makes me want to puke, Brendan.
Oh no, why?
Because I'm furious.
You remember that lady that you had on earlier?
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
I think it's just gone politically correct.
Isn't it, though?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
You remember that lady you had on earlier? When I was drying from the shower, that was talking about the actual alleyway.
Who was drying from the shower?
No, I was drying while you were talking to a lady that was talking
I've got to be honest, Brendan. Using the moisture of your body as a time method doesn't really work for me.
No, but you remember the lady you were talking to while I was drying.
I don't know when you were drying, mate. So, again, that really is a very... I prefer to use... We've got this great system I've invented called the clock. I use that to time things.
About 10, 15 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah, the alleyways lady.
Yeah.
Hey, were you drying yourself off then?
Yes.
What a coincidence. So was I.
The funny thing was, I had spoken to her. I'd said to your lady, was the alleyway that they were using as a urinal or whatever...
Yeah.
...near the Morrisons in Hitchin? It's the Morrisons local.
Why would that be? Why?
Because that is where the bus stop is for Bedford.
You're saying it's the Bedfordians?
I don't know. I really have no idea.
Bloody Bedfordians coming over here, peeing in our alleyways. Let's go to Bedford and let's do a dirty protest.
No.
Is that what you're saying? Because I can organise that.
I have to come up from St Neots.
I think you should come down a bit, mate. But yeah, go on.
I have to come via Bedford to come down to Hitchin that way, because otherwise I don't get free travel.
OK. And when you're travelling, are you dry or wet?
Dry. Often I'm having a bottle of Coke on the route.
Would you ever have a small carton of Ribena?
I have had... We buy it for our corner club discos. We sometimes buy it in large amounts.
For the what?
Our corner club discos.
They sound like fun.
Yeah.
You can't buy them from Tesco's anymore, mate.
I know we can't. I have to tell May and Mike that. There might be the find one store that does it still in Rushton.
What about Capri Sun?
I don't know about that one.
Umbongo?
Not the sausage. I've never seen them or tried them.
You've never tried an Umbongo? You should. It's massive over in... where is it they drink Umbongo? Oh, in Zimbabwe. Not Zimbabwe, in the Congo. They love it over there.
We have quite... And I'm not going to say, we have quite a few staff from over there.
From the Congo?
No, from Zimbabwe.
Zimbabwe, well, that really is... and I'm sure they're lovely people, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're really helpful.
Brendan, that's a great call, mate. We'll speak to you again soon.
You take care.
Ta-ta.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M25, it's slow anti-clockwise between junction 19 for the A41 and Watford, and it's also very busy between junction 17 for Maple Cross, anti-clockwise towards junction 16 for the M40. The A1 is slow southbound from the Holiday Inn towards the Stirling Corner, and looking at the train departure boards, the 7:46 service from Welwyn Garden City to Moorgate has been delayed. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
So, be honest, have you ever gone...
Blooming system. Hang on a second. It's so user-friendly. There we go. Right. Oh, dear. I was trying to drag that up and you can't drag it up. Add that to the list. Makes me sad. It really makes me sad. I can't... The machine doesn't work the way it should. Right, where are we? 7:46. It's Thursday, the 30th of July. I'm Iain Lee. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on an Indian Ocean island is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. And video images of people who use a hitch-in alleyway as a toilet will be shown in public in order to name and shame offenders. Let's get the weather. It's Elizabeth Rizzini.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Hello, very good morning to you. Today is going to be a nicer day than I think we saw yesterday, but there might just be a few showers around, particularly towards eastern areas of Hertfordshire, so do watch out for those. But there'll be a lot of dry weather around too, and we'll see some good spells of sunshine. It's quite sunny at the moment, actually, looking at the satellite picture. So sunny spells on and off through the course of the day. A bit of cloud coming and going. Temperatures are still a bit below average for the time of year. It's a rather cool start, and by the afternoon we'll probably still only be up to around 18 or maybe 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit, so a little bit cool for the time of year, yes. The breeze easing down through the day. I think by the time we get to the late afternoon, the evening, lots of dry weather around, some good spells of sunshine. It'll feel nice and pleasant in the sunshine as well with those lighter winds. Now, as we head through into this evening and overnight, it's going to feel really quite chilly for the time of year. You'll hardly believe it's the last day of July tomorrow, because we could be as low as, say, 4 or 5 degrees Celsius in some spots away from the town centres, of course, holding on just to double figures, I think, in some of the towns though. And then for tomorrow, yes, a cool start, but a lovely day with some higher temperatures by the afternoon. We're looking at 21 degrees Celsius, dry with plenty of sunshine, and that's the way it will tend to stay over the weekend. Temperatures building, and by the time we get to Sunday, I think we'll be into the mid-20s in Celsius. Nice, that's the forecast.
On your marks, get set, bake!
I am such a big fan of Mary. If I can even make her swallow a piece of my cake, that's quite a big deal.
12 new bakers.
I never imagined I would actually get here. Now that I'm here, my jaw is just on the ground.
30 brand new challenges.
Nervous. Really nervous.
Every time I go into the tent, I think, am I really here? It's wonderful. Wonderful.
The Great British Bake Off is back. Bake yourself happy.
Starts next Wednesday night at 8 on BBC One and BBC One HD. This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Local and vocal across Beds, Hearts and Bucks.
This is Iain Lee.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Right. A father from Milton Keynes is speaking out against Milton Keynes Hospital to prevent any more babies dying at the hands of their maternity unit. Before 2012, the health watchdog, the Care Quality Commission, sent in experts when coroners at babies' inquests had heavily criticised the unit. After this, senior midwife at Milton Keynes Hospital, Suzanne Barber, told us the maternity ward was one of the safest places to give birth in the country. Well, sadly, that doesn't seem to be true, as there have been 5 deaths over a period of 8 months. 5 deaths over 8 months between 2013 and 2014. Jonathan Stansfield and his wife Kirsty lost their son George in December 2013 after midwives at MK Hospital failed to pick up on problems during labour. Well, Jonathan joins me now. Morning, Jonathan.
Morning.
Really appreciate you coming on and telling us about this. If I ask anything you don't want to answer or it's too uncomfortable, just tell me and we'll move on. And I don't want to.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you. Tell us about George. What happened?
George was basically what happened was that he was a perfectly healthy baby. Mum and baby both very healthy throughout pregnancy, and in the final stages of labour. Obviously issues arose that we weren't aware of at the time. The labour had seemed to go very smoothly, and when he was born he was in a very poor condition, and it was so severe, in fact, that although they managed to revive him, he was only ever really kept alive by machines, and sadly only survived 36 hours. The reason for that is just a fetal heart monitoring issue. They failed to monitor his heart properly throughout the labour, and most key, in fact, was that they failed to act upon 2 decelerations. When there's a deceleration during a labour, they're supposed to place you on a CTG monitor, which provides continuous monitoring and a live printout throughout the labour. But they didn't do that, so it meant that they were unable to, track his heart properly. Instead, therefore, they carried on with what they call a sonic aid, which is a handheld Doppler, where they check in. They're supposed to check in every 15 minutes in the first stage of labour, and then every 5 minutes during the second stage. But unfortunately, they didn't adhere to that either, and they missed quite a few, about 40 to 45% of the heart rates they should have read. They failed to get.
Had they monitored George's heart rate correctly, is the suggestion that he would still be alive?
Yes, that's the view of two independent consultants that have done independent reviews on our entire case. Because if they had monitored it properly, they would have noticed when there was a problem, and they could have acted accordingly at that time, whether it had been, going for an emergency C-section, whatever it was that they'd have had to do, call a doctor in, they could have acted immediately, whereas because he was just left in that poor state and it was never picked up, he could have been deprived of oxygen for up to 20 minutes, and it's likely he was around 20 minutes, which, when you starve the brain of oxygen for that long, severe brain damage, so his body was unable to function on its own.
How do you cope knowing that your son died, after 36 hours, and could have lived and died because of mistakes? How do you get your head around that?
It's hard to get your head around. I mean, we didn't find out until 6 months after, so we'd kind of started to move forwards. One of the key things that we had moving to get over our grief was our charity that we set up in his memory, which was a very positive thing to do in lieu of what happened, which is called Team George. And, we've done lots of different events since he died. We've raised nearly £80,000 now. So that's been a very positive thing to do, and it's, managed to bring loads of people together. We've got friends that, we didn't have before because of it. So the support that we've had from our friends and family has been unbelievable. So doing something like that allows you to move forward positively, but with George in your mind at all times. I think if we were to sit and think about it too much, it might be a bit too harrowing, and you don't know where your head would go. So we just tried to always remain positive and do positive things, but with him with us.
A senior midwife told us in 2012 the maternity unit was one of the safest places to give birth in the country. The hospital now says that the unit is safe, and I've got to give that figure again: 5 deaths in 8 months between 2013 and 2014. Do you believe them when they say it's safe now?
The statement to say we are safe now isn't true, but I hope it will be soon. We don't want to scare people away from using Milton Keynes Hospital, because what happened to us isn't representative of all the midwives there. While there is an issue, and it's not just one midwife that's a problem. There's obviously a bigger issue there. To say we are now safe, they're saying that because they've put an action plan in place because of what's happened. That action plan's only recently begun. We've got a long way to go before they can actually say that the place is safe. We're aware of another baby death in January of this year. So while we don't know if the hospital's at fault for that, another baby has died as recently as January. And that's just what we're aware of. Okay. I mean, through a friend of a friend.
And we need to look into that, because I was unaware of that. So I don't want to say too more about that, just in case, because we don't know the facts on that.
That's what I'm saying. We can't say that the hospital's at fault for that.
Let me read the statement. We've got a statement from the Milton Keynes University Hospital Medical Director, Professor Martin Wetherill. He says, "On behalf of the hospital, I again offer my sincere condolences to the families whose babies sadly died. My sincere apologies that the care these babies and mothers received was not good enough. The Trust has made significant improvements and changes to working practices, invested in new equipment and developed multidisciplinary training as a result." And it also says, "I'd like to reassure women who are pregnant and due to give birth at the hospital that the maternity unit is safe and that we've worked very hard to ensure the issues identified in these sad cases have been fully addressed." What would you say to that, Jonathan?
I just hope that they fulfil those promises. I know they have made immediate changes. We've had an inquest where a lot of these changes have been discussed, and there are a lot of the things that we had pushed to be done. So I think what we're trying to do is to put pressure on the hospital and make sure that there's enough awareness that the public put pressure on the hospital as well to fulfil those promises, but on a long-term basis to make sure it's permanent, not just until the dust has settled on this situation like it did on the last one, and then standards drop again. Pardon me. So there needs to be something a lot more permanent in place, that they don't just do it short term.
Jonathan, I wish you and Kirsty the best of luck in the rest of your life. Thank you. I appreciate you talking to us this morning. Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much indeed. I always feel humbled talking to parents like that who've lost a kid. How can you not feel anything but sympathy and sadness and humility, man? Jeez, humbling. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. 81333. Start your text 3CR. That idiot's... I'm not... No, Calorie, I'm not... I blocked you on Twitter because you were just being annoying, mate. I didn't want it on my timeline. If you want to give us a call, don't cry, little baby. Can't take it, but loves to give it. If you want to give us a call, you can give us a call. I mean, I've not got a problem with it. I just didn't want your lies and your nonsense on Twitter. So if you want to call me up, call me up. If you want to send me abusive texts and waste your money, you're more than welcome to, mate. But I don't get the point. I don't get the point of what you're doing. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. Oh, look, I've got some names. Look, Cheggers seems to know who's on Pointless this afternoon.
Oh, yeah.
So it's me and Cheggers.
Mm-hmm. Dream team.
It's only Anthony Costa and Rav Wilding.
Oh.
Mm.
Which one of those don't you know, Kels, or is it both?
I know, it's Anthony Costa from Blue.
Yep.
And Rav Wilding, I don't know.
He's from the Police. Crime Watch. He's the beefcake.
Is he on Crime Watch?
He used to be. He's not been on it for years. He's the beefy copper.
He does the Ambulance 999 stuff and,
sure, why
and the
not?
helicopter stuff.
Why not, mate?
Helicopter Heroes.
Why not?
It's my favourite.
Yeah, go for it. Enjoy yourself.
Sorry.
So I can beat Costa. I can beat Costa, although of course he's heir to the Starbucks millions, tax free, cheeky.
Who else?
Wilding.
I think he might be a secret weapon.
He won't. If he's got a secret weapon, I'll report him to the authorities. There'll be a cover-up. He'll get away with it. That's how it works. I'm not stupid. I think I can beat Costa. Costa, you're a dead man walking. I hope you don't hear this because I've got to sit in a room with him this afternoon. Wilding, I think, but that means there's one more couple.
No, there's four.
No, you have two. There's four couples.
There's four.
Well,
couples,
that means it's flipping heck. They might have. I don't know, Stephen Hawkins. Is it against the clock?
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
The M25 is very busy anti-clockwise from junction 18 for Chorleywood to 16 for the M40. It's also slow on the A1 southbound from the Holiday Inn towards Sterling Corner. And looking at the speed sensors in Aylesbury on Elmhurst Road, that's very busy in both directions between the A41 and Douglas Road. Also elsewhere on the A5 through Dunstable, it's looking quite busy on the High Street North going northbound. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Sammy. Dressing up as gollies, having a wee in the streets. The usual.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8 o'clock. I'm Simon Oxley. The headlines: major Bedfordshire road project being disrupted by nuisance bikes, Milton Keynes Hospital reassuring pregnant women, and people urinating in Hitchin alleyway to be named and shamed.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Police have launched a crackdown on nuisance motorbikes in nearby Houghton Regis, but due to safety reasons, workers on the site have to down tools every time bikers come onto the land. The Woodside Link will connect Houghton Regis and the industrial estates in Dunstable to a new M1 Junction 11A. Andrew Selous is the MP for South West Bedfordshire.
All credit to Bedfordshire Police and Chief Inspector Gavin Hughes-Rowlands in particular, who I've talked a lot about this issue with. They really did the business then, but they obviously need to make sure that the the construction workers can get on and complete this important road in time.
Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014. Jonathan and Kirsty Stansfield lost their son George, but only found out 6 months later that it was down to hospital mistakes, not natural causes. Jonathan hopes the independent review will benefit other parents.
We can't change what's happened, and we want to move forward and just make sure that this doesn't happen again, and that we don't have the same situation where promises are made, changes are made, but then 5 years down the line they start again. We want pressure on the hospital from the public to ensure that this does stop permanently.
Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on the Indian Ocean island of Reunion is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. Experts believe it's from the wing of a Boeing 777, the same model as the missing plane which vanished without trace in March last year. Police have described motorists who filmed the aftermath of yesterday morning's fatal crash on the M1 near Milton Keynes as disrespectful. A 35-year-old woman from Bedford was killed in a collision involving 4 cars and an HGV on the northbound carriageway just before 8 a.m. A 55-year-old man from Warwickshire has been arrested on suspicion of causing death by dangerous driving. Profits at British Gas have doubled in the first half of the year. Its parent company Centrica, though, has announced plans to cut 6,000 jobs. Video images of people who use a Hitchin alleyway as a toilet will be shown in public in order to name and shame offenders. Cameras have been installed in West Alley in the town centre. Margaret is a Hitchin resident living nearby.
I think something does definitely have to be done about it. I mean, it's naming or shaming or the increased patrols around the area, but for sure something needs to be done.
The trustees of a Buckinghamshire special school threatened with closure have released a statement after pressure from angry parents. Penn School near High Wycombe is in administration. The trustees say parents weren't told sooner of the decision to close in case children were pulled out of school and made the situation worse. They also say there's no July 31st deadline and administrators are continuing to negotiate with buyers. In sport, England's cricketers will resume on 133 for 3 this morning on day 2 of the third Ashes Test at Edgbaston. That's just 3 behind Australia after bowling out the tourists for just 136 yesterday. The weather mostly dry and sunny. Scattered showers, though, could develop this afternoon. A maximum temperature 18 degrees Celsius. And you can get the latest news and sport online at bbc.co.uk/3 counties.
Thank you, Simon. So far, I know my pointless teammate is Keith Chegwin. I know I'm against Anthony Costa and Rav Wilding. Michelle Heaton. There's a very strong chance, guys, I'm going to win this afternoon. Very strong chance. I still don't quite know what the rules are, but that's by the by. Toilets, public toilets, going for a wee in the streets. Oh, that's a nice tweet, look. I don't know how someone hasn't slapped this guy on 3CR. He's rude, clueless and just annoying. Well, my next guest may agree. I don't know. Let's find out, shall we?
Across
Let's find out.
beds, hearts and bucks.
Oh, dear.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Morning, Nigel.
Morning.
You've wanted to slap me at some times, haven't you?
Only once, I think.
Only once?
Yes.
Wow. Well, I take that as a great compliment, sir. So thank you very much for managing to put your hands in your pockets. This story is an annoying one, and it keeps going on and developing. This is about the off-road bikers. They're causing more problems for Dunstable, this time by disrupting construction of a new bypass around the town. Builders on the new Woodside Link Road say they're being constantly interrupted and have to down tools each time the bikers force their way onto the land while they wait for the police. Central Beds councillor Nigel Young joins him in the studio. It's really frustrating, this, isn't it?
Well, this bike issue is an area-wide issue, of course. It runs through from Luton to Dunstable, right into Houghton Regis. A lot of activity on social media, some complaining, some supporting the bikers. It's a huge issue to council taxpayers if they stop work on the Woodside Link or they cause damage to a surrounding area or to pedestrians.
Explain just for those who don't know what the Woodside Link is, why it's so important.
Well, the Woodside Link comes from the Woodside Industrial Estate to a new Junction 11A on the M1 motorway, and at the same junction, the A5 M1 Link Road runs across, obviously, from the A5. Those two roads will enable us to detrunk the High Street in Houghton Regis and in Dunstable, which means we'll be able to prevent heavy goods vehicles, other than those delivering, from using Dunstable and Houghton Regis as a through route. But it's much more than that, of course. It's not just about reducing traffic, improving quality of life. The roads, because they provide a fast route to the M1, have meant huge inward investment, and the most visible sign of that has been Amazon moving to Dunstable. They're getting their warehousing facility ready now, and they've indicated 500 new jobs.
Fantastic.
For Dunstable and Houghton Regis, which is great. And seasonally, that could rise to as many as 2,000. So that's actually huge. And the company that built the Amazon warehouse, Prologis, are starting work on a second unit on that same site in the autumn, and that's got to lead to at least another 500 jobs. So we're looking at 1,000 to 3,000 jobs coming to Dunstable and Houghton Regis.
It's an exciting time. When's the road due to be finished? Is it 2017?
They're saying spring 2017. I actually think they'll get it finished sooner. But
Come on now, builders finishing ahead of schedule?
Well, they have to allow for people like nuisance motorcyclists stopping work on an almost daily basis.
We had a couple of texts. Normally, I do think health and safety is a little bit nonsensical a lot of the time, but this one we had a texter, two texters saying, "Oh, these idiots! Why have they got to down tools every time a bike comes on the lamp?" Well, actually, it's quite serious, isn't it? Why they have to do it?
Well, they're part of a considerate contractor scheme, and the best practices regarding safety is part of that. So, yeah, you might say, well, they're over there, they're not causing any harm, but because health and safety is such a big thing these days, they actually have to stop work.
And it's a building site. It's a building site. If something goes wrong, if something slips, if something flies off and hits one of these people, then we're all going to be going, there's blooming builders, they've injured a bike. It's actually a really sensible rule, this one, I think.
Well, it's not even just your normal building site. There's huge trucks wandering around on there, huge dumper trucks full of earth, because they're right at the point where they're moving topsoil around. So it's extraordinarily dangerous. Well, of course, the police have been running what they call Operation Meteor, which has cautioned a few bike riders and I think scrapped a few bikes, but the problem just doesn't go away. It's actually all around you here at your studio in Dunstable.
We see it in the car park.
Yeah, and in Grove Park.
Yeah.
You know, there's dogs running free, there's pedestrians walking around, people sitting on the grass. It's kind of low-level crime, but it causes a huge nuisance to people.
At the moment, the builders are saying this isn't going to affect the completion date. It's that they're still confident they're going to get there on time, if not, as you say, ahead of schedule. But I mean, it's got to cost money, hasn't it? The fact that they're stopping every now and then.
Well, people don't seem to link projects or even places to council tax. I've just walked around by the skate park and I see that some idiots who got a dumper truck and wrecked a parking meter and took down some fences and the AstroTurf. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't know the AstroTurf, some of the fences have been flattened. Now everybody thinks maybe that's just over boisterous kids. Maybe some people see them as vandals, some people see them as idiots. I see them as people costing me my council tax.
Yeah.
Because we've got to go and fix those fences.
And you're right, if people saw it, stuff like that, as I get older, really it annoys me. Partly because, I'm paying for it, and also it just doesn't look nice. You want to be somewhere that looks nice.
Yeah.
And I guess you're right, if people can see the pounds and pence that it's coming out of their pocket to fix that stuff that idiots are damaging, they might take it a little bit more seriously in terms of reporting it or keeping an eye open or even just shouting, "Oi, stop it!" kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, we're left as a council to make decisions when vandalism like that happens. We can either fix it, that costs council taxpayers money, or we can take that facility away. Of course, you don't want to do that because it's individuals. It's a really small number of idiots who are doing this. And the facilities are for the majority.
Please don't take the skate park away, because in the afternoon, me and JVS, we go down there and we're hanging 10 and we are really pulling some gnarly bitchin' moves. So I'd really appreciate if you kept it there for us, Nigel.
I would truly love to see that, but we're not going to be able to move 250,000 tonnes of concrete anyway.
The message is to these idiots, stop it. Are the police doing enough, do you think? Could they do more?
I think it's a bit of a specialist job, isn't it? They have to get the guys in from Hertfordshire who are off-road motorcyclists. to follow these young fellas around and try and stop them. So it's not a regular police job.
You've been outside, Nigel. You caught the sun a little bit. Have you been away? Because you've not been out here in the last week or so.
No, I was out playing frisbee with some of your people last week when I came up to see Roberta.
A frisbee party was going on. We've all turned into hippies since we moved
you've
to
loved it
Dunstable.
since you got here.
It's been good. We love it. We love it here. I'm constantly me and Catherine, who's away at the moment, we're constantly raiding the charity shops, buying records and things like that. We're doing and I'm not saying which the good ones are because I don't want anyone getting in there getting all the good stuff.
Good.
Nigel, nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. And,
nice to see you.
Thank you for not hitting me. It's always appreciated.
See you again soon.
See you later on. 03459 455 555 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call about that, you're more than welcome to. You can text as well, 81333. Start your text 3CR.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you, Kelly Betts, who's brought me what can only be described as a delightful, delightful cup of coffee. Many, many thank you. Yeah, okay. Just having a look, see if there's anything of interest there. And there wasn't. You all right, Kels?
Yes, player, are you?
Oh, you know
Good to have you back.
Well, you say that, and I really do appreciate the vibe. There's a lovely, warm, loving vibe that you're emanating this morning, and for that I am truly, truly grateful.
You're welcome.
Truly, truly scrumptious. So thank you very much for that, Kels. Have we got any phone calls or any? No, we've got this, and we're always going to have this.
There once was a wealthy man who had a wonderful idea to bring children from all places with all kinds of faces together into a sailing ship. There were 40 boys and girls. They would sail their ship around the globe, so they called it the United World. The ship was just 3 weeks from shore when a hurricane bore it down. The waves were big as mountains. They felt they would surely drown. They jumped into the lifeboats, rowed away from the wreck. They didn't count them, they hadn't time. 5 children were left behind. The children fought the storm all night and finally fell asleep. They didn't realize the ship had been blown across a reef into the lost islands. But hiding in the bushes was a watchful pair of eyes, and living in the valley were people lost in time, ruled over by a tyrant whose face was in a mask. The children must defeat him so they can escape at last from the lost islands. The lost islands.
Where's the love? Getting loads of abuse on Twitter and text today, which I'm all right with. But it's just there's a lot of Sarah Harding. There's a lot of angry people around, including this nutter in the paper. Have you seen this guy's furious? I used to be an angry man. I get angry sometimes, but I'm not. You should have seen me 5 years ago. I was very angry. I was very angry then. Oh, he's called Iain, this fella. Spells it wrong. Iain has made 300 complaints in 18 months. Right, and that's fine. If you're complaining about stuff, that's fine. But here's one of his complaints. I'm effing fuming. I've just spent 45 minutes on the phone to the effing job centre for some stupid little rat to hang up the phone on me. No wonder he can't get a job. 45... I can't even hint at what that next word is. Minutes. You've worked it out, Tim. It's working with JVS. Will do it to you, I'm afraid. Don't be hanging up the phone on people. It's just a flipping P, ignorant, to hang up the phone on people. A, it's just flipping... What? B, to go, sorry, I can't help you. F off, love. Check your job properly. You asked to speak to managers and she puts the F in for... I wonder how you asked her to speak to the manager, you plum.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
In Luton, there's been an accident on Ludlow Avenue involving 3 vehicles at Cutenhoe Road. Also, looking at the speed sensors in coming into St Albans, Sandridge Road is looking very slow, and it's also looking very busy on Victoria Street in both directions. And on the A405 North Orbital Road in Bricket Wood, it's busy at the M25 junction 21A roundabout. The M25 itself is also slow anti-clockwise from junction 18 for Chorley Wood to 15 for the M4. And on the trains, London Midland are running a reduced service at the moment between Bletchley and Bedford. That's because of a signalling problem, and it's expected to cause problems until around 8:30. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Thank you very much. It's 8:16. It's Thursday, I don't know, towards the end of July, definitely. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on an Indian Ocean island is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370. And video images of people who use a Hitchin alleyway as a toilet will be shown in public in order to name and shame offenders. Now,
this is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
To name and shame offenders. To name
and shame
offenders. The decent thing that for these people who have been urinating in this alleyway, this specific alleyway, the decent thing, hashtag loving Hitchin, the decent thing to do would be for them to just put their hands up and say, I've done it.
Put everything away and then put their hands up.
Yep. Just put their stuff down. I don't know if they're at a desk or at a table or in a radio studio or something. Yeah. Just put the thing, if they're holding a pen, just put it down. Then put their hand up and say, yeah, I've done that.
Yeah. Look, it was a long time ago. I grew up in the town.
That gives you a right to urinate near a woman's house, does it?
Look, if I'm being absolutely honest about it, I had a very weak bladder growing up, and I was taken to a clinic because I couldn't clear my bladder, and I had to do bladder training for most of my teens. It was very embarrassing. I was a bedwetter.
Wowzers.
So by the time
bladder training, you say?
So by the time I was 16, 17, and drinking on Windmill Hill, drinking cider.
Was that part of the bladder training?
That was part of the bladder training.
Okay.
I have walked down that alleyway. I have been caught short, and I thought at the time it was a victimless crime. Now, I wouldn't dream of doing it now. Perhaps in a wood. Now I would only ever go in a toilet, or maybe in a wood, or a park. But I would never ever do it in that alleyway again, and I think it's disgusting. And I now recognise it's not a victimless crime. People live there. People walk down there. It's foul.
Yeah.
But I can't sit here and lie and say I haven't been one of those people. Many moons ago.
Okay. Have you got?
It was a different moon.
Have you got a certificate to show that you've passed your bladder training? Because I need evidence that you're actually disabled.
I don't know if I'm still technically disabled.
Do you get a blue badge?
I can now control my bladder. I never got a blue badge.
Okay.
But I was caught short on many occasions. And I think Scott Balcony's his story earlier was I've been there. I've been there.
What, there as well?
Not there.
Okay.
Not there. Anyway.
What's on your show this morning?
Yes, 9 o'clock this morning, the big phone-in. Yes, there is a programme. Is it time we just let some of the Calais migrants come to Britain? It's feared around 150 illegal immigrants are now reaching Britain from Calais each night, and since a senior judge has refused to let the British government fast-track them to detention centres, more than 300 have already been set free in the UK. One prominent police and crime commissioner has now called for the Royal Gurkha Rifles to be sent to defend our borders. I don't know what they're going to do.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Eurotunnel has confirmed they've recorded 37,000 attempts to breach their security this year alone. Now, the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants, they've told my team this morning, I just had a conversation with them, they think it is time to let a few thousand migrants into the UK. But do you agree? Is it time we just let some of the Calais migrants come to Britain? 03459 455 555, your calls from 9.
Imagine all of the weed they'd do. I mean,
Introducing.
I'm feeling good. This Saturday night, BBC Introducing is live from Stand and Calling.
So, welcome back to the BBC Introducing stage.
To celebrate the 10th anniversary of this great event, we've got a BBC Introducing stage at the festival, and we'll bring you all the highlights and live performances from across the weekend.
All right, check it out. We're going to try something now. This is a kind of new song.
Break this wall and let my voice become.
Listen to BBC Introducing at Stand and Calling.
You have a whole weekend full of fun. I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you to the BBC Introducing team.
Stand and Calling, this Saturday night from 8 on BBC Three Counties Radio.
oh dear. Angela's on the line. Morning, Angela.
Morning, Ian. Are you well?
I'm tired. I had a late night. Hey, I went and saw Vic and Bob last night.
Did you enjoy it?
I did. I loved it. They were doing a tiny little show in front of 300 people.
Oh, lovely.
They're doing a big tour, and so they were testing out some stuff.
Yeah.
And what was great is quite a bit of it didn't work. And it's wonderful, because that stuff's never going to get seen again. And it was wonderful watching Bob reading an Anchor Butter tub as a script, and it just being met by silence. And he goes, well, you're never going to hear that again. And it was wonderful. But they did all the hits. It was like being at a pop concert. They came. The man with the stick came out. What's on the end of the stick, Vic? You wouldn't let it lie. They did all that. Oh, it was wonderful. I was in my element.
I'm pleased you enjoyed it.
What have you got for us, Angela?
Well, yesterday you kindly let me come on and give a plug to the Teddy Bears Picnic. Do you remember, in Hampton Park in Stevenage? And I thought I would ring up and thank you for that, because several people said to me, we heard an advert for this on Three Counties Radio. So local advertising or local radio works.
How many people turned up because they heard this show?
I don't know about that, but we must have had about 250 people there.
Well,
it was brilliant.
I'm going to cut my rates. That's £1 a person, 250 quid. Let's just call it around 300.
Yeah.
Ooh, when do I get the money, Angela?
Oh. Did I tell you how much we made? £750.
Well, then you won't miss the 300 quid. You've still got 450 quid. This is great, Angela. When am I going to get my money?
You may have a little wait. Check's in the post. Ian.
Thank you very much indeed, Angela. I'm glad it was a success. Thanks for letting us know.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
ta-ta. There we go. You see, what a nice person. Police in Hitchin are using CCTV to name and shame people using an alleyway as a toilet. Anyone caught urinating on West Alley in the town centre will have their image published online, and the public will be asked to name them. Hertfordshire Police say they're taking this new approach following complaints from residents living nearby. Inspector Duncan Sales is from the North Herts Safer Neighbourhoods team. Inspector, when you get cases like this, do you kind of just look up to the sky and wonder why you became a copper?
Absolutely not. No, this sort of problem is all to do with quality of life issues, and we look to tackle those and sort of make our towns safe and pleasant places to be.
It's not dangerous, is it? Because bloke's having a wee.
It's not dangerous, but it's antisocial behaviour, and this is something we want to stamp out because we want to make the environment nice for everybody.
Have you never done it?
No, I can honestly say I have not, no.
Come on, you've never had a wee in a car park or in a bush or around the back of a Happy Shopper or something?
No, I have not, no.
At the CCTV, it's been there for a few months. How many people has it caught?
We've recently caught one person in the last couple of weeks, and it's something that we're now working with our local community to actually help identify and deter people from doing this antisocial behaviour.
How much does it cost?
The cost is very minimal, but...
because CCTV, I would have thought, and then the people watching it and then putting it online, I thought there would have been some cost to that.
There will be some cost, but the cost is irrelevant because it's what we're looking at is trying to sort of deter this type of behaviour.
Now, Duncan, when we're hearing that other police forces won't be sending coppers round when there's been a burglary and, that people can't get... put on hold when they're funding up the police station. I don't think you can say that the cost is irrelevant, can you?
Yeah, you won't find that in Hertfordshire. We are attending all burglaries.
No, I know. I'm just saying, but I didn't say it was Hertfordshire. I specifically said it was elsewhere. But they're all police forces. Are you saying that Hertfordshire is awash with money? I don't think so. So the cost is relevant, isn't it?
There is a cost to it, but...
What is the cost, is what I'm asking. Do I need to...
I can't give you a figure on the cost of this, but what I would say is that No, it's not secret, but this is the problem that we're looking at tackling, and this is the method of looking at tackling it.
Can you not give it to me because you don't know it, or because it's secret?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you the actual cost of it at the moment. No.
But you knew it wasn't very much.
What I would know is it's not significant. That it would make a difference of us doing this.
Okay. Naming and shaming people. It's a bit unpleasant, isn't it?
The result of the action of what people is unpleasant, and other people have to deal with this when they wake up in the morning, clear it up, and all the rest of it. So it's a way of actually deterring people from actually doing this antisocial behaviour.
What about I'm assuming you've looked at the other two significant methods that are being tested elsewhere around the world.
We've looked at what options we've got,
right.
And this is an option that we decided that we will try.
What were the other options?
Obviously other options is increasing police patrols, which we are doing already. We're looking at gating, but obviously when you're talking about alleyways, they're public rights, and it makes it very difficult to actually impose those.
The other options, there's a system that they're trying in America whereby there's a sensor, and if someone urinates, they get sprayed by water. There's also, of course, I'm sure you've looked into this, it's being trialled across Europe, the paint, where if you urinate on the paint, it sprays back and hits you.
Yes, there's other options that we looked at, but we've decided that we would try this option.
Okay. Am I right that legally you can't name the people that do the wee-wees?
What we could do is if they go to court, they get charged, then they can be named. But we're not. We're actually working at the community to help us identify the individuals.
And they'll get a fine. Is it a one-tier fine, or do they get fined more if if something else is left there?
There's a one-tier fine.
Okay.
So yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, listen. I hope it stops because it is unpleasant. And part of me wonders if this is the biggest crime in the world, but it is unpleasant. And if it's upsetting people who live there, then I wish you the very best of luck with it, Duncan.
Thanks very much. It's what we're looking at, obviously, is to make Hitchin a nice, safe and pleasant place, which it is, and has a very vibrant nighttime economy.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that works. Thank you very much indeed. That's Inspector Duncan Sales from the North Herts Safer Neighbourhood team, and he's in charge of catching people who wee in alleyways.
This is Iain Lee
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Look busy, guys. Kath's listening. Kath is sending me a running commentary on my performance, and I ain't doing so well this morning. Thank you. Just go off and play with your the kids. That's it. Go and play with your kids, Catherine. The big boys are in town now. That's right. I spoke to a copper about poos in an alleyway. That's right. That's what we've gone to, Catherine, while you're away. Okay, we don't need you with your pies. Don't need you with your pies and your court. Get me caught, man. Don't need you with your pies and your court.
Is she Jamaican?
Yeah. The black lady that does the produces the show, right? No, it's my northern accent, Kelly. As well, you know.
Mm.
Oh yeah, and I'm gonna get my pies in my court, and then tomorrow I'm gonna do a show about the pies. No, Catherine, we've moved on. We've evolved into something much, much bigger.
What other accents can you do?
I can do Jamaican.
Yeah, I've heard that one just then.
No!
Can you do Northern?
I did Northern.
When?
Ask me to do my Jamaican.
Can you do your Jamaican?
Why, aye, man, of course I can!
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
On the M1, a vehicle's broken down between junction 11 for Dunstable and 12 for Flitwick, so that's blocked a lane, and it means that speed limit is 40 miles an hour there, so it's looking very slow. In Luton, there's been an accident on London Road at the junction for Cotonou Road, and it's causing queues all the way back to the motorway, according to Lynn, who rang in to say that it's very busy there. On the M25 anti-clockwise, there are queues between junction 17 for Maple Cross and 16 for the M40, and on the trains, London Midland have reduced service between Bletchley and Bedford because of a signalling problem. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Across beds, hearts and bugs.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
It's 8:30. I'm Simon Oxley. Work on the new Woodside Link Road linking Dunstable to the new M1 Junction 11A is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. David Cameron has said Britain will not become a safe haven for migrants in Calais, speaking this morning after hundreds of migrants again attempted to break into the Channel Tunnel terminal in France overnight. He said everything would be done to make Britain's borders secure and make sure people could go on their holidays. Officials are investigating whether a piece of plane wreckage washed up on the Indian Ocean island of Reunion is from the missing Malaysian Airways flight MH370, and Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014.
Three Counties Sports.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
England's cricketers will resume on 133 for 3 this morning on day 2 of the third Ashes test at Edgbaston. That's just 3 behind Australia after bowling out the tourists for just 136 yesterday. James Anderson took 6 wickets.
It's still a pretty good pitch, very typical English sort of wicket. If you bowl well, you get results, get rewards. And if you bat well, you get in on it. And we've seen 2 guys get 50 today. Hopefully tomorrow, like I said, sun will be out and we can make some big partnerships.
There were also 2 wickets yesterday for Hertfordshire bowler Stephen Finn on his return to Test cricket after 2 years. Former England captain Geoffrey Boycott was impressed.
He gets wickets and he gets them at a cheap rate. Fantastic gift. Doesn't matter whether it's God-given, lucky, call it what you want. Anybody like that you have in your team, you put him in your pocket and carry him round with you. You bowl for me, son. I love you. I thought this is great.
MK Dons manager Cole Robinson says fans will be excited by new signing Sam Gallagher from Southampton. The 19-year-old England under-19 international has joined on a season-long loan. Meanwhile, the Dons have a pre-season friendly at non-league Brackley tonight. In golf, the Women's British Open gets underway at Turnberry this morning. The British charge will be led by Woburn-based Charlie Hull. And Tom Daley and Rebecca Gallantry have won gold in the team event at the World Aquatics Championships in Russia.
We really didn't know what just happened there. We went into that competition as a bit of a warm-up for our individual events that are coming up this weekend, and to come away and be in front of the judges and them to, I got my highest score ever on the arm stand, and Becky did one of her best fronts in competition that she's ever done, and it's like, yeah, we're so happy.
BBC Three Counties News and Sports. The next full bulletin is at 9.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on down this road that never seems to end. When new adventure lies just around the bend. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow, the whole world is my home. So if you wanna join me for a while, just grab your hat, come travel light, that's hobo style. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. Maybe tomorrow I'll wanna settle down. Until tomorrow I'll just keep moving on. There's a world that's waiting to unfold, a brand new tale no one has ever told. We've journeyed far but down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
One's got a fade on it. Speaking of fades on it, it's Katya. Good morning, Katya.
I didn't understand the fade thing and the Katya thing.
Well, one of those words is your name. So if you can't understand that, would you mind going back home and sending over an intelligent one?
I'm not fading. Listen, yesterday, for the first time...
I can't hear you. You're fading.
I'm not... yesterday...
You're fading. Yeah, she's faded.
For the first time yesterday, you made me think.
She's fading. You've faded, Katya. Speak louder. Don't shout.
Oh, sorry.
For the first time, what?
You made me think very hard yesterday.
God, blimey, I'm sorry about that. Do you have to have a lie down afterwards?
Actually, I was still thinking about it in bed.
Oh, are you thinking about me in bed?
Not you. The topic.
What was the topic?
Music. Has it changed anything in the world?
It's a good question, isn't it?
It is, definitely. And I think it has, but not for the better at all.
Okay, well, that's great. How has music changed the world?
Well, rubbish films, for example,
Yes.
they've become cult because of that.
Right.
Yes,
Right.
the one with Darth Vader.
Right.
Well,
So you've
it's not good.
did you spend all day thinking about that? Because that wasn't what I was talking about.
Okay.
You spent all day thinking about the wrong
did.
question.
No, no. And if dictators didn't have music, like for example Hitler, I remember seeing this documentary about that because of Wagner, probably is really not probably definitely.
Hang on a minute.
Is evil? Yes.
What the hell?
Yes.
Was Hitler's theme tune? What was his theme tune? Oh no, hang on. Kelly's just sent it through me. Hang on. Apparently this was Hitler's theme tune. Is that really his theme tune? You've got the image in your head now, guys. I'm not going to suggest it. You make up your own pictures. I want to keep this job. Well, so what? I don't know. What was Hitler's music?
No, he didn't have a theme tune. He used Wagner a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. You've
To
really.
make his point.
Okay. So you've spent all day in bed, bit lazy. There's a lot of Brits that would do that job and would do it a lot better than you.
No.
So you spent all day in bed thinking about a question that I actually hadn't asked.
You did ask the question.
I didn't ask what was Hitler's theme tune until 2 minutes ago.
No, Kelly asked the question.
No,
She's
no
a
one
very
asked what
clever
Hitler's
girl.
theme tune was. Can we stop saying Hitler on BBC Local Radio, please?
No. She's a very clever girl. Actually,
Well, Katya, you've just proved that you're talking nonsense. Did you have a point you wanted to make?
Well, that's all.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Now, nearly 3 weeks after we brought you the news that Penn School was going into administration, we finally have a response from the trustees that isn't a brief, curt email, that isn't from their PR guru in Soho. Well, actually, it kind of is. It's a Q&A that they wrote and they answered. They sent it to a local newspaper, didn't send it to us. Did you notice that? Didn't send it to us. And it's up on our website, and we've had a look at it. Amanda Burgess is one of the parents, one of the campaigners. And Amanda, I'm assuming you've seen the question and answers, have you? Oh, hang on. Where is Amanda gone? Where's? Oh, she's on 4. Sorry, Amanda. I'm assuming you've seen this Q&A, have you?
I have, yes, but they didn't send it to parents either.
Oh, these guys! As I said in my email to one of the trustees, the Q&A is going to make you look cold and soulless, and it's done exactly by sending it to a local newspaper. And I didn't realise they hadn't sent it to the parents. It's outrageous, isn't it? What do you make of what it actually says? Let's put who they sent it to one side. The content. What do you make of that?
Okay, well, I've read it quite a few times now, and I've spoken to some of the other parents, and we've come up with some comments we'd like to make, if that's at all possible.
Please do, yes.
Right. Firstly, they're being arrogant and hiding behind the PR company, and that is just beyond belief and so disrespectful.
Now, Amanda, I'm gonna, because I've been accused of being a little bit one-sided, and I know you can take a firm questioning. Okay, so bear with me. How have they? How, in your opinion, have they displayed their arrogance?
Because they haven't come forward and spoken to us directly, apart from that very initial meeting. They've ignored contact with us. We've asked to speak to them. We've got questions about the accounts. We've not had a response to that yet 2 days later. You know, they are being very arrogant and they've been arrogant through the whole process in not listening and not involving parents in any of this.
Okay. The specifics of what they actually say, what did you make of that?
Okay, there's some queries over the dates they went into administration. They say definitely the 7th of July, but we know from previous interviews the head knew on the 5th of June and spoke to Steve Baker at an event.
Yep.
Cheryl Gillam sent a letter in June as well to Nicky Morgan, the Secretary of State of Education. So we know that the 7th of July is just an academic date. They knew months, year before. So that's one thing. Also, the trustees sort of did nothing effective over the 2 years that the school was in special measures to actually get out of special measures. They didn't consult with all stakeholders, as they state in there, because parents were not consulted, and therefore not all stakeholders were. What else? They did nothing to challenge the Ofsted rating 2 years ago. You know, why did they not do that? I did as a parent. I wrote to all sorts of people in the government, to Ofsted. Nobody officially from the trustees, from the school, seemed to challenge that Ofsted decision 2 years, which seems to be what's being blamed for this issue now.
Yeah, I've got a kind of we picked the greatest hits from the Q&A. Here's one. Why were the parents not told sooner? The trustees were aware of the very difficult financial situation in late April. Well, actually, they knew about it last year. Yeah. This is why Q&As don't work, because you want to investigate further and you want to look at the answers. Anyway. The trustees were aware of the very difficult financial situation in late April, but were still trying to find ways to keep the school open. Had the trustees gone public earlier with their concerns, some parents might have removed their children. Oh, shock, horror. What? They would have tried to find schools for their kids? Making the school's finances even more perilous and thus impossible to attract prospective buyers. At this point, there were potential buyers. Sadly, they subsequently pulled out. Again, that to me highlights the fact that they're not seeing the kids as the most important thing, because, yeah, if you're a parent of a kid in a school and you know it's in financial trouble, well, then you're going to start looking for somewhere else, as is your right and as, of course, you should be doing.
But we wouldn't have, because there isn't anywhere else to look for our children. We all fought so hard to get our children into that school. On average, it takes about a year to go through the process to get your child into that type of special provision. Lots of parents went to court and paid lots of money at tribunals to get their children there. Of course, we wouldn't have walked away, one, because of that, and two, because there isn't any other provision like Penn anywhere near here. So why would they have just thought we'd walk away? And I think that's where the arrogance comes in, that they didn't trust the parents.
There's another one here. We've been told that the deadline is tomorrow, the 31st of July, from the Q&A, from the trustees, from the pen, I'm guessing, of their PR guy. There is no deadline. The administrators will act as efficiently as possible to resolve the situation, but parents should work on the assumption the school will not reopen and that they need to find an alternative school for their child.
Well, that's mixed messages, because they have said the 31st of July, that was last week at the meeting, the last time we met the administrators, they said definitely the 31st of July. And in fact, we know of an interested party that is coming forward, and they were told they had to have their offer on the table yesterday. His deadline was yesterday, not Friday, not sometime in the future. So I think there's a lot of mixed messages coming out of the administrators.
Shags, let me know when you got that list of names, please. Give us a thumbs up, because I know we've focused on Hugh and another trustee whose name escapes me at the moment, and I think it's only fair to name all of the trustees. That Shags, you got that full list?
Yeah, I've messaged it over to you, but I can read it here.
Read it out. Go on. Let's get the list of these. These are the trustees that none of whom have wanted to talk to us, or the parents. Go on.
And I've got this from the website Open Charities, which is an open register that lists all this information. So the trustees of the Rayners Special Education Trust, they're the charity that operate Penn Schools. So the trustees are Paul Ricketts, Hugh Forsyth, who we've already spoken about on the programme.
Hugh Forsyth, who was overheard by one of our reporters saying to his wife when she told him that there was a phone call from Three Counties Radio, "I've got no interest in talking to that lot."
That's the same one. Carrie Allen, Dara Gallick, Wendy Moyer, Kerry McLeish, who is another name that we've mentioned on the programme, and Timothy Layfield.
So we've been focusing on Kerry and Hugh, but all of those people seem to have no interest in talking to... you've not spoken to any of those, have you, Amanda?
No, the only one I've had, I was in liaison with Hugh during the special measures issue, but Kerry, I've got this question about the accounts outstanding with her, and she's not yet come back to me.
I've got an email on that from Deloitte's. Where is the email from Deloitte's? Because there's that question of £800,000, isn't there? Shags, have you got that? Did you see that email? Was that sent to you at all? Where is it? My email system is in such a blooming mess. Oh, I'm in my sent folders. That's why I can't find it. Hang on. Bear with me. Here we go. The parents... This is from Deloitte's. This is from Lee at Deloitte's. The parents do not understand the accounting statements. I've explained that the unrestricted funds held by the trust were effectively monies received in advance by the local authorities for fees for the upcoming term and would be used to pay wages and other running costs. We've also explained that due to the fall-off in pupil numbers, there were insufficient fees to cover the running costs for the school. I don't understand financial things, Amanda. The implication seems to be there that £800,000 was for future terms. I'm guessing they would then have to give that back as there are no future terms.
Well, it would have been nice if they'd actually responded to me directly as I'd raised the question. And if you read the statement of accounts, obviously implying that I don't know what I'm talking about, and as a parent, I can't read those accounts. So if it's sitting in reserves, it's money that they've already received. It should have been something in there that says it was for future fees, but that has not been made clear to me.
Amanda,
anyway.
Listen, I have to move on. We're not going to let this go. I always appreciate your time. I know that there is a national news outlet that is sniffing around this story. Fingers crossed. We might have more on that later today, and that would be great to get a bit more attention. I don't want to say too much because they've sniffed around a couple of times before and then let it go. But I was talking to Justin and I were talking to somebody yesterday at a massive news outlet. So follow us on Twitter at Iain Lee, at Justin Dealey, and we will let you know throughout the day how that proceeds, if indeed it does. BBC Three Counties Radio. Let's get the trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
There's a lane blocked on the M1 northbound between junction 11 for Dunstable and 12 for Flitwick because a car's broken down, so it's causing some delays in the speed limits of 40 miles an hour. Also on the A1M southbound between junction 7 for Stevenage and 6 for Welwyn Garden City, there's a lane blocked by a 4-car accident which is starting to cause some queues. And on the M25 it's busy anti-clockwise from junction 24 for Potters Bar to 23 for the A1M. In Luton on London Road, that's been partially blocked by a 3-vehicle accident at the junction for Cutino Road, and it's causing delays back to the M1. And on the trains, London Midland services have reduced service between Bletchley and Bedford because of a signalling problem. Samantha Brooks, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Gingerbread? Ain't you got no candy? Ain't you got a little bit for me and little Andy? Got any?
I've got chocolate.
I asked specifically for a bed, for gingerbread or candy. Do you have any of those things?
Yeah, I've got Minion Haribo.
Minion Haribo, she says. Banana. Yeah, it's 8:48. These are your headlines on BBC Three Counties Radio. Work on the new Woodside Link Road in Bedfordshire is being disrupted on an almost daily basis by off-road bikers. Officials are investigating. I went from one news thing to another, so I didn't see the shift. Doesn't matter. David Cameron has said that Britain will not become a safe haven for migrants in Calais after hundreds again attempted to break into the Channel Tunnel terminal last night. And Milton Keynes Hospital is reassuring pregnant women that it is a safe place to give birth after 5 deaths over a period of 8 months between 2013 and 2014. Oh, it's only my favourite weather person in the whole wide world. It's Rizzini.
Beds, Hearts and Bucks weather.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
Oh, come on now, Ian, you big flatterer. Let's do some weather then, shall we? Because we're really late. So, we've got some sunny spells around today. It's still feeling a bit cool for this time of year. Temperatures today only at around sort of 18, maybe 19 Celsius, 66 in Fahrenheit. It should stay mostly dry, but there could just be a few showers, particularly towards eastern areas of Hertfordshire, I suspect, at times today. But look, mostly dry, some good spells of sunshine, just a little bit cool. The breeze easing down as well. Overnight tonight, distinctly chilly for this time of year. I think you'll hardly believe that it's the end of July tomorrow, because some spots could get as low as perhaps 5 to 7 degrees Celsius, holding on probably in double figures in some of the larger towns though. Now for tomorrow, temperatures are gradually going to pick up, so by the time we get to the afternoon we'll probably be up to around 20-21 degrees Celsius. It'll be dry with lots of sunshine tomorrow, and that's the way it will generally stay over the weekend as well, so warming up slightly. That's the forecast.
Ian.
Have you got any gingerbread or candy or even a bed, Elizabeth?
Me?
Yes.
What, here right now?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't. I've got a mint imperial. Would you like one of them?
No, I want gingerbread or candy.
Every weekday from 3.
The East of England Ambulance Service are urging us to stay safe in the heat and take sensible precautions. Barry is in Bedford. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Rob. Right, I've got a little story about bad breath, and it's quite embarrassing, really, but I do...
Don't be embarrassed.
Roberto Peroni.
Yes, yeah, we kiss them and cuddle them.
No, you don't kiss an animal.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
So you've started an online petition to raise money to pay the Greek debt?
Yeah. That's right. Fed up with
do it now.
politicians going round in circles. I thought, you know what, let's just crack on and let's see if we can do something.
Roberto Peroni. Weekdays
Will,
from 3
I really
on
loved your last
BBC
hit.
Three Counties Radio.
I'm just keeping it real, Justin.
Keeping it real. By the way, confirmation in the last 5 minutes that you've been talking about Penn School this morning.
Yes.
That will be happening today on a national news outlet.
We should let Tim from the PR company know just before it's about to go on air.
Yes.
That it's happening.
Yeah.
I tell you what, if you want to know, I'm glad that's happening. I'm really glad that's happening because they've talked about it a couple of times and then for various reasons they couldn't do it. And I was talking to them yesterday and are you doing it?
I believe so.
Excellent stuff indeed. Follow at Iain Lee, at Justin Dealey, and be near a broadcasting device at around about, 12:30 today?
12:30, yeah.
And at 12:29, I'll send Tim, the PR guy, a little tweet just to let him know that one of the reasons this National Broadcasting Service got in touch was because of his press statement.
I mean, if the trustees had come out and spoken, I don't think we'd still be talking about it today. That's just my gut feeling.
That's my gut feeling. That is my gut feeling as well. Because the more I look into this, the more it looks like the trustees haven't done anything dodgy. It's just that they've handled it really, really badly. That's the thing, you know. And by anyway.
Yep.
At Iain Lee, at Justin Dealey, at BBC 3CR, I'm sure all of those accounts will let you know where. Just be near a broadcasting device around about 12:30. Excellent, nice one, Just.
Good
Thank
stuff.
you. It may change again because of the nature of this business. You know, we may get a phone call saying, actually, we're not doing it. Stay there because Graham wants to have a quick word with us.
Okay.
Good morning, Gray.
Good morning. How are you?
I really... all this talk of lavatories, I really need to go to the toilet. And I'm nervous. I'm nervous because this afternoon I'm doing... have you ever seen the programme Pointless, Graham?
Yes, I applied for it, but I didn't get on.
Yeah, I'm on it, mate. So I'm already on one better than you. I don't know what I have to do on there.
Well, try and find the lowest answer possible.
Well, I don't know what I have to do on there. I made myself laugh by being an idiot. Now, that's my problem. I've won Mastermind. I've won the Weakest Link. A little bit of cheating went on in the Weakest Link. I've won the Celebrity MasterChef with Percy Pepper and Tommy Tomato. The Pointless, though, I'm paired up with Keith Chegwin, Graham.
Well, you should do quite well, I would hope.
It's me and Keith Chegwin versus, get this, Rav Wilding and Anthony Costas.
Big Rav.
And Michelle Heaton.
Ooh, Michelle.
Hi. What she was in Liberty X, wasn't
Liberty X, yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Ooh, just a little bit. Go, just a little bit more.
Oh, just a little bit.
Give me just a little bit more.
Please, just a little bit. Sir, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hello, Graham.
Yeah, the reason I rang was you mentioned Hitler's theme tune earlier.
Yes, I did, and I'm already regretting it.
Justin might remember this.
Oh, no, don't bring me into this one.
No.
Kath's away. Every time Kath's away, there's some controversy.
Hitler's theme tune. Can you play it this weekend for me? Yes. Far away, Graham.
What memories does it bring back?
Mel Brooks made a film some years ago called High Anxiety.
Oh, yes, he did. Yeah, High Anxiety. Yes, okay, yeah.
There was a song, the theme song for it, called the Hitler Rap.
Well, could you sing it to us?
No, I couldn't. I can't sing to save my life.
Thanks for calling, Graham. Now, there's been a story. Just every time Kath goes off, I end up in a local paper
The Hitler Rap
or online, and it's been great working here, guys. Yeah. So there's a story in the Mail, and where have I put the
It's in loads of the papers. There's the image.
Thank you, buddy. It's three people. They're collecting for a charity. I think it's in Scotland.
It's in Scotland, yep, over the weekend.
Well, it says here, now this story here from online says they use black face paint to dress as the Jackson 5. Well, there's three of them. That's not the Jackson 5. They're being gollies.
Yeah.
They are being, they look like the toys gollies that we now call them. The trio, 2 boys and 1 girl, were pictured at the traditional Wick Gala parade in Scotland. And apparently people are furious. I mean,
it's gone viral. So complaints have come in. People were dressed up as gollies, also members of the Jackson 5. So white members of the public blacking up for this event.
Yeah.
I've taken this one to the streets. You said to me, can you ask people if they're offended by this?
I did say
now,
that, yeah.
Please, people, listen to the last man coming up here. This was quite extraordinary.
Wow.
He seemed to have a massive problem with what I was doing.
Oh.
Simply by going out and asking people if they were offended. Okay?
Yeah.
Please take a listen. Is that picture and that image, is that offensive?
It's just weird. Just looked at them like monsters. I would just laugh.
Out of weirdness.
Yeah.
It does look a bit strange. Thank you, madam. 3 people that have blacked up. Is that offensive?
Personally, to me, it wouldn't offend me, but I'm not black, so I couldn't really comment from that aspect.
What do you think about that? Is that offensive to you as a black member of the community?
No, because I think it's just harmless fun. I mean, it says Jackson 5, and also because my son did this with his friends. They went to a seaside thing and they dressed up as Jackson 5s in the same thing.
Tom, there we have 3 white people who have put black face paint on. Do you think that image and what those people have done is offensive?
I don't find it offensive. I just think it's a bit silly and puerile.
I would be offended, but I wouldn't actually act upon it because it's clearly because they want a reaction, so I wouldn't give them what they want.
Second, sir?
Why don't you ask me?
I was getting round to it.
No, don't think so.
Sir, can I ask you why you seem to have a problem?
No. You know why?
Well, no, can you explain?
No. I don't be hassled, thank you.
Okay, I won't hassle you. I'm just slightly confused. If you'd like to make your point, you can...
I don't think you are. I think you're hassling me.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well, it's just, we all know the rules of going out there. You weren't and you never would hassle someone, and he spoke to you. He initiated contact with you and was upset you weren't talking to him.
Why are you not asking me about that?
Wow, tense.
Well, I said, well, hang on a second.
Tense.
Hang on. Give me time. I've got 3 or 4 people here waiting. I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I think he was insinuating something there.
Could you smell burning?
I could. I mean, quite what he was going to say. If you're going to say something out there, just say it. You know what? I know what. Make your point. No, stop hassling me. It was strange. Very strange.
You need to lighten the mood a bit. Have a listen to Hitler's theme. Right, okay, that's it, that's your lot. You're going to stick around, we're recording the podcast links.
Yes, I'll be here.
Sticking around.
Yeah.
Can I ask you one favour?
Yeah, of course you can.
Don't muff it up like you did last time.
I know, last week I got loads of tweets saying, do you know what, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, because I had to bring you down a peg or 2.
Okay.
So just this, look already, you've got the little...
swag.
He's got a swaggy
got
wiggle.
The swag going, I'm ready for you.
He's got a swiggle going on. Right, we're going to do the podcast links after this. Let's get some trav.
Travel news for beds, cards and bugs.
BBC 3 Counties Radio.
There's a lane blocked on the A1M southbound because of a 4-hour car accident between junction 7 for Stevenage and 6 for Welwyn Garden City. On the M1 northbound there's a lane blocked between junction 11 for Dunstable and 12 for Flitwick because a car's broken down, so it's very slow past there. And in Luton on London Road, that's been partially blocked by an accident at the junction for Cutino Road. That's causing delays from the Kidneywood roundabout back to the M1. The A41 is slow southbound from the Two Waters Road at Hemel Hempstead towards the M25, and it's also very busy in Watford on Exchange Road. On the train to London Midland have a reduced service between Bletchley and Bedford. Samantha Bruff, BBC Three Counties Radio.
Sammy, nice one, man. I really like it. That was the coolest travel news I've ever heard in my life, like jazz.
That's it, that's your lot. Back tomorrow at 6. Do stick around, though, because Tim has got beef.
Local and vocal across beds, hearts and bucks.
This is BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yes, thank you, Ian. Tim Wheeler standing in for Jonathan Vernon Smith, and here's the beef. Is it time we just let some of the Calais migrants come to Britain? It's feared around 150 illegal immigrants are now reaching Britain from Calais each night, and since a senior judge has refused to let the British government fast-track them to detention centres, more than 300 have already been set free in the UK. One prominent police and crime commissioner has now called for the Royal Gurkha Rifles to be sent to defend our borders. Meanwhile, Eurotunnel has confirmed they've recorded 37,000 attempts to breach their security this year alone. Well, the Joint Council for the Welfare of Immigrants have told my team we must now let a few thousand migrants into the UK, but do you agree? Is it time we just let some of the Calais migrants come to Britain? You can call me from 9. It's 03459 455 555. You can text the station as well, 81333. Start your message with 3CR. And you can email jvsshow@bbc.co.uk. Your calls after this.
This is the JVS Show
on BBC Three Counties Radio.
Yep, I'll take your calls after the news this morning with Simon Oxley.
The headlines: Cameron pledge on Calais migrants, nuisance bikers causing delays to new Bedfordshire Road project, and police defend naming and shaming people caught short in Hitchin.
BBC Three Counties Radio.
David Cameron has said Britain will not become a safe haven for migrants in Calais, speaking this morning after hundreds of migrants again attempted to break into the Channel Tunnel terminal in France overnight. He said everything would be done to make Britain's borders secure. The Prime Minister is currently in Vietnam, from where Ben Wright reports.
David Cameron knows holiday travel chaos in Calais and the desperation of migrants to get to Britain in their hundreds every night has the potential to become a political crisis too. Speaking here on the latest leg of his trip to Southeast Asia, the Prime Minister insisted the government had a firm grip on the situation. He said Britain was already working intensively with the French to beef up security at the border, and he said it was a great advantage the border was on the French side. Accepting the problem was